Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? This is the Meeting of the Minds podcast. This is episode 13, titled For Better, For Worse. Right now, we got the upgrade. We got Trinity's, and it's me, your boy IMC. And tonight, we're going to delve into the world of marriage, specifically the vows that you take when you're at the altar. So now, let's ask the first question. What is the purpose of a marriage vow? Who wants to answer that?
I definitely gotta answer this. Now, the purpose of the marriage vow, understand you're making a covenant with not just said spouse, but you're making a covenant with the Most High first, because these are His rules and His regulations that us as a couple have to abide by. So, for better or for worse, the whole 9 yards, you are promising to God first. I will promise and honor this law and this marital situation. There is no in between. And it really saddens me that if you look at the dynamic of who's trying to get married today, a lot of people just don't want to do that anymore because they're so afraid, especially where the document is concerned. Because if you really look at it, it's really not. It's set up for men to lose everything if we so happen to step out or for any reason. But
I'm an example of
suffice it to
that.
say, it's literally a covenant between the Most High and said union. It's no longer about me or you. It's about us. It's a covenant. That's it.
Right. It's mostly like it's a spiritual thing. And I've probably said this once before. A lot of people put emphasis on the actual ceremony of the wedding with inviting X amount of people and then the reception as opposed to how are we going to navigate through the actual marriage because everybody's there when the rice is being thrown and you got the veil being lifted up and you got the bridesmaids and the grooms and the groomsmen and all that. But what happens when things get real? Now I want the other to answer. I want to hear your viewpoint on this.
So first, uh, so you get married in a church, but you don't get divorced in a church.
Say that.
That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And so I'm on the side where I've been divorced, and so I know what it feels like. And it's not on the pretty side either. So um, and it's not as if I didn't do my own thing. So you know, the question, the purpose of it, it's just like Trini said, it's a covenant. It's a covenant you make first with God, and then you make with your uh, the other person. And what happens, or what's supposed to happen, is you're supposed to bring yourself, 100%. And what God does is God then molds, the Most High molds, and you two to then learn how to love each other. Because you see, when you fall in love, you can fall out of love. So there's steps to love. So the purpose is a covenant. It's never. It's the purpose is to get to, uh, what God intended, which was be fruitful and multiply. That was like purpose right there in the beginning. Everything else had to be laws and rules because the things got broken. Outside of it, was like, hey, be fruitful and multiply. Hey, have fun up there. So, but yeah. Upon the question, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So with that, right? So do you believe that if how do I put this? Do you believe that if sin wasn't a factor, that we wouldn't have to go through all these legal ramifications for marriage? Because with the way that
Yeah.
All right, so explain. And then we're gonna jump to the second question.
Yeah, because where would the laws come from? where would any of those man-made laws then come from if then sin wasn't then entered? If you want to go that route, it's only going to be what God said, and so everybody's then going to be fruitful and multiply. So it would have been the marriage and the whoever that person was, and married that person, whatever laws that God had made. If there was no sin that entered, just going to be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah, I gotta land back
What,
off of him if it wasn't for sin in the first place. Honestly,
go ahead, Trini.
oh, can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
You get
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
was saying land back off of him. If sin wasn't present in any way, form, fashion, all these ridiculous stipulations with the law and all that
We'll be gone.
would have been total obsolete. And honestly, people would be living in peace. Because to be
Yep.
completely honest, when you look at the relationship me and my wife have, we didn't get married the traditional way. We got married low key in the Hebrew way. It's pretty dope. So how this works, one person decides to bring salt. The other person, they bring their salt of whatever color of their choosing, and it's like a really, really fine powdery salt. And so you bring that vial, I bring my vial. And so we then pour both colors into like a jar or a mason jar. And see what we do is you gotta shake it up and shake it up, keep shaking it till you can't really tell one from the other. And
mm,
if you legit want to get divorced, for one, counseling comes through because you need wise counsel. And if you still feel like you want to be divorced, you and said partner who cannot stand each other for a small disappointment have to sit there and try to separate your
Yo,
salt from
yeah,
hers. And
yeah,
you
I like that.
and mind you,
Yeah, I
people
like that.
don't like doing
You're
this
gonna
at
sit
all.
here. You're gonna sit here. You're gonna separate this right now. If you look at the force, you're gonna separate
Now,
this.
what the funny part is, there have those there who there are those who actually they've tried, and in trying to do that, they start off with the arguing. Mind you, the counselor's still sitting there, or the deacon, whoever's over your church, and they're arguing, and then it'll get like an awkward silence, and all of a sudden they're laughing again. And yo, this is stupid. Your pile is not even nowhere near mine. It doesn't make any sense. Let's just go. Let's
wow.
just go. So that's exactly how it is. And honestly, because with
If it's explained first, I think that it would be gotten like not there, but like, or if there was like a visual example of it, then people would then understand. Because it does sound like for intellectual men, yes, it makes sense. Logical people, yes, it makes sense. Like, yo, if we gonna sit here, if you decide to get married, that means that if you want to get divorced, you're gonna have to sift through this instead of us having to go through the legal way where X, Y, and Z can happen. So let's just go through the sweat. But then on top of that, it's through God. On top of that, you're the salt of the earth anyway. So two salts mixing. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes sense. Like it makes sense spiritually. It makes sense traditionally. Like and you don't have because at the end of the day, like there's something tangible that you have to let go of. Hey, give me back half of my jar.
Mm,
If you want to divorce me, give me back half my jar. There you go.
mm.
Because in divorce, you don't get half back your love. Hey, can I get half my love back? Can I get half back? Half back? Can I get half my time? One more time. One more time. Go. You know what you get? Most men, just like you said, Trini, we get divorced and we lose not half. We lose all our shit. You see, it's when you have to think about it. It's half the house
right,
because you leave, but you got to think about your savings. You got to think about your checkings. You got to think about your car, your apartment. Are men who've literally killed themselves because they only have $5 left in the account.
Mm.
Mind you, they're watching their ex-wife, live it up with the kids. Got another person in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tough mentally. And I was just in the car with a cab driver who He's only down here from Maryland because his brother got divorced and his brother was going crazy.
Mm.
And
Wow.
I said, you know what? I said it's crazy because I wish I had. I kind of have somebody who's like that, but I said I wish I had family who was like a brother who was like that, who was like came down and was like, yo, listen, I'm gonna stay with you. We're gonna rock until you get this together. Like I had to go through things alone. That's why upgrade is important to me. Like there are things that people say to me that's like, yo, listen, through all the things you've been through, bro, I don't even know how you got through it because I know people who kill themselves. Yeah. Yeah. I see, I've talked to people who be like, listen, I gave up. Like I'm on the street only because my ex did me dirty. Imagine
Wow.
somebody with no kids. So you got kids. And so imagine a divorce. So it's like right now, the reason why people don't want to, the purpose, there are out there who still want to get married. There are plenty of men out there who want to get married. The thing is that the laws benefit, and in reality, the laws benefit women. And until the laws benefit men, it's not going to go nowhere. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought about going into like politics just to get into that. Like that's going to be it.
Mm.
We are going to discuss and we are going to change these laws on paternal and maternal rights because this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is definitely when you're in a modern age where technology kind of rules religion
Mm.
in essence.
Mercy.
Like in essence, because when you think about it, it's like you have less people really going to church. You got the older folks staying in church, but less people are coming to church. They're more into their phones. When they're in their phones, definitely when you get into the world of TikTok, you can find anything. First it was Google. Now it's TikTok. You can find anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Like.
TikTok is a new Google. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you've gotten to a point where you have women who are in groups who have TikToks who talk about how to get how to divorce their husbands, how
Wow.
to get back at their men. I actually am. I'm about to do comments on Queen of Toxic because it's not him. It's like the women who be talking. I'll be like, yo, y'all are why? How do you come up with the stuff to get at the man that you mad at because he did this one, this one act when he's tolerated you in so many ways
Mm.
and you haven't
That's
known
crazy.
he could have literally like knocked you out and he had to literally like sit outside in the car for 20 minutes, maybe an hour. He had to sit in somebody else's driveway.
Just calm himself.
He had to go to a secluded bar. He had like these are traumas that men go through. The purpose of marriage, it's not out there because it what is out there? Feminism. So feminism about independence. So what do you get? How you gonna get married? How? Who wanna get married?
It's crazy
Who?
because when you look at the word feminism, it had nothing to do with, you know, being
Right?
independent. It was more about, just equal trade of the sexes. That's all it was supposed to be.
In a relationship.
And now they just made it, it's, oh, I'm strong and I'm independent. I can do it on my own. I've always had this one
Oh,
question to women. I understand that y'all are capable of doing most things that said men can do in the work field, but why would you want to? That's all I've always wanted to know. Why would you want to? Like you hear these women
majority of women don't want to. It's just a small majority literally talking for the majority.
and try to use it as a flex. I don't know. I mean, I know.
I think it's in my opinion, I think it's a small majority thinking for a large because you have a whole kickback on YouTube, on TikTok, on places where there's free freedom of speech. You have women who talk about, hey, listen, I don't know where you got this feminism thing from. Like this is annoying. Like I want to be at home baking Susan. Like I know women who literally say I want a man who the only thing is that they don't know how to be with a man.
Good point.
They want to be submissive, but then they don't know how to because they were never taught that. So it's kind of like a man then has to tolerate that, but how much is he going to tolerate in that? Because he has learned how to be a man. That's the reason why you're attracted to him.
Correct.
So you can get rid of posers. We in that age now. You can know who a poser is. You can just see. You can tell before you get married.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can really tell. Like people just lie to themselves really because of they want to keep up with the Joneses. But if there's a real woman and a real man, human being who is in themselves and know the God in them and the Most High who's connected. Like I'm telling you, they're not gonna sit there and be like, all right, let me just. This is gonna be a mess conversation.
This
Like
is true.
how you start, that's how you gonna kind of end. Unless you really into that, unless you're really in tune. So we in an age right now where it's kind of everything is superficial. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of laugh at certain things because people do things. Think about it. Think about people who are married who go back to their exes, their ex-husbands or ex-wives.
Hmm.
Like a real man or a real woman ain't going back. You're not touching me. You're not how. Whatever you did to me, you're not touching me. And if I'm a real man that did something to you, I'm gonna say, you know what? I don't have any touch you because I hurt you in such type of way because we made this connection with God. I wasn't upfront with you. I didn't sit there and say, hey, listen, I'm not gonna cheat. What's going on, Jason? I didn't sit there and say like right now I'm at the age where I'm so honest, like it gets women annoyed. They just be like, yo, you just tell people how it is. Yes. Because I don't want to lie to you. I don't want you to sit there and be like, oh, we're in a relationship. And then next thing you know, I'm sitting there saying, no, I've been there. I lost family because of it. Like we're not, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm 41 now. You know what I'm saying? Like we at an age now where we can literally talk. Like if we meet and you know what I'm saying, like we start with sex. Hey, that's what it started with because that's what it started because, but let's just you got issues and I got issues, but we're not even trying to work together. We're not interested in where we going. You going here and I'm going there. Your purpose. You trying to drive you trying to drive the car. Okay. Well, think about it. If you're driving, you got the GPS, right? So you
Hmm.
know where you going. I don't know where you're going. I'm following you. At
We
one point, women don't really want to drive. They don't want to drive. They want to sit back. They want to be passenger princess, passenger queen. So how can they do that if they're driving?
mm, yo,
That's what we
upgrade.
have, robots driving cars now.
We got you got to go to the second question, my brother.
Go
With the
ahead.
second,
My bad. My bad.
all right, so second question is: do people often keep their vows?
No.
I
No.
I got him started. I got him start. All right, brother, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Go ahead, Trini.
Oftentimes, people, honestly, I don't even think they even think about their vows. To most people today, the vows is just a part of the process. But
Yeah.
if they really took the time to listen to the vows, as a matter of fact, I really often feel like before couples get married, there should be this talk about each and every single vow and what it means. They need to have an extensive talk. Because, for instance, when
Right.
soon as it gets to, do you promise to honor, love, and be submissive, whatever the case may be, or obey? That's the one, obey. And he immediately heads turn,
Yeah.
like, wait, excuse me, huh? What do you mean obey?
What?
And obey doesn't mean slavery. It doesn't mean, oh, it's my word against yours. Because guess what? Exactly what you're saying yes to, and I do too. I also have to do the same. And
Right.
both
Go
sides,
ahead. My bad.
you're
My
good.
bad.
Both sides get the same questions because once y'all two become a union, you're now one person. So it's not about, oh, I gotta get my hair done. Oh, I gotta get the next fitted. No, it's a partnership. And once a lot of women get into their thick skulls that marriage was never about happiness. It's more about legacy and extending your family's name and being fruitful and multiplying
Right.
to regenerate the population, they would probably take it more
That's
seriously.
it.
But nowadays,
Yeah. Everybody's in their
they
feelings.
would rather get pregnant by said men who they knew wasn't crap in the first place, but somehow they were good enough to get your goodies. I don't understand it, but
Or wait, there's the other side of men that we don't talk about. These are
talk
the
about it.
quiet men, men like me. I know a couple of them too. They're spreading out now. They're talking. The men who were said like me. Listen, I was told. The reason why I'm keeping the baby because condom broke. Okay. Reason I'm keeping the baby. And my son knows this. My son knows this. We spoke about this. We had a whole conversation about this. He knows. He understands. I'm like, listen, you are one and like you're not even special, special, like you special. But me and your mother only think that you special because the rest of the world don't give a fuck. But you know, we know you
Whoa.
special. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm sorry.
you got to give them reality. Like you can't give them fake because think about it. Like not only did you have to beat the rest of the sperm, like you had to beat the rest of them to get to the egg. You had to break through, like the condom had to break. You was meant to be here, my son. You was meant to be here, and I ain't gonna lie. He literally changed my life. Like he made me into a man. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I try.
You are one gangster parent. You hear me? Like that's crazy.
Listen, listen.
Mm.
And the reason why is because I've seen so many adults sit there and say, yo, my parent wasn't real with me. I don't know who my parent was. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. I mean, now we finding out, not because, we on social media, but right now we're at an age where if your parents are religious, soon as they turn 50, 60, they got amnesia. They forgot they had you.
Mm.
They just holy of holy. They've never done nothing. They was just, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to get to a point where we're real with our kids because then they're real with themselves and they understand who they are. We are their examples. Now they're examples of TV. They'd rather a superhero than more of a superhero's character
Mm.
than their own parent,
You know,
good and bad.
I
I
got
tr-
something to say, but I'm gonna let Trini go because
now real quick. I am truly happy
That's crazy.
of how me and my wife ended up conceiving. Now, first of all, I am the only one she's ever been with. Like I met Shorty at Oshkosh, and
Oh
it
wow,
was my first Oshkosh ever, and
man.
my mom just wanted to get me out the house. No spot. She was like, "Oh, yeah, how much was it?" I bet. Boom. You and your brother go. Get off. Get out of here. So they were on the wrong bus anyway. I guess they were supposed to be on another bus with a group of dudes that they're used to. And then they see a bunch of black brothers like me, my whole jump core, and the rest of everybody. It was like, "Yo, who are these dudes?" But us being us, we was like, "Nah, we gonna bring some ice." So we broke the ice. We all playing football and flexing and all that jazz. And fast forward, one thing I really appreciate about it is the fact that I've never heard her name out of anybody else's mouth. Not a dude, not a girl, not nothing. She was always involved in some kind of sports, swimming, softball, soccer, which she's unbelievably good at, fashion designing. She was always about something. Her father has his own medical practice, beautiful home. Her mom, she does cosmetology, dope. So it's like you really have to know who you're dating because before it even gets to marriage, during the whole dating process, you're supposed to study, like, yo, watch their movements. When they're hungry, how do they act? If she's cramping, what are you supposed to do? Or what do you want me to do? Just watch her movements. Same thing with shorties. Like, yo, women around the world, watch your men. If you know he's rolling with a group of dudes that he ain't supposed to be with and it's a problem,
mm.
if you see the red flag at first glance, believe it and remove yourself. There's the dancehall song called "Take Away Yourself."
Take away yourself now. Stop.
You see it? Take Away Yourself. You're saving yourself so much unwanted and undeserving trauma. Study your person because that's how you know when you're equally yoked or not. Real talk.
Exactly. You
Why,
know,
man?
I wanna I wanna say something. Both of you made amazing
Real talk.
points, right?
Real talk.
I want to go back to what Carlin said about the condom breaking. That kind of reminds me earlier this week. I don't know if you guys heard. You remember the podcast Fresh and Fit, right?
I still watch their podcast. That's
Yeah, I
them my
watch them
boys,
sometimes.
man.
Right, so dude was going out with this I think this woman, and basically he got her pregnant. He was trying to tell her like, well, they can give you a pill so you can get rid of it. No, but I want to have the baby. No, but they can give you something, right? And his other boy, the light skinned dude, was crying. He's like, yo, everybody made fun of us. Like there was a whole video. They're not on YouTube no more. They're on some other platform. And I'm just like, stupid. Like you like the same. It's funny. The same women that they speak against and all that is the same one this dude ended up with, and now he's gonna have a child that he doesn't want, and all this stuff got leaked to the internet. It's like for a group of men that always are talking down negatively upon women and type of women that they don't want to mess with, and yo, this one is a gold digger and all that. But now look at the situation that you're in. You know,
It's
you could have
because
chosen to have your
they're
seed.
delusional
Wait. Let me say this. You could have chosen.
and their emotions.
Hold on, wait. You could have chosen to have your seed with anybody, but you just decided I'm gonna be out here all willy nilly and do my thing. And now when consequences are around, now you don't want to deal with it. But you see, with your situation, he was like, all right, I'm gonna accept it. And you learned lessons from that. And you went through things when you were married, when you ended up getting married, and when you got divorced. And your son has been able to see both sides of the spectrum. So now when it comes
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I,
Let me stop you right there.
right.
So I didn't get married to my son's mother.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm talking about your wife, the person that you ended up
Oh,
marrying later
okay.
on.
I was about to say you can't. Man.
No, I understand, man. I understand. I got you. That probably wouldn't have worked out. But go ahead, man. But nah, it looked like all right. So it looked like you wanted to say something, and then we're gonna move on to the third question.
Um, with my son back to being gangster daddy. Uh, with my son, like because I gotta tell him like real life. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't really. You don't want to be the like I didn't want to be the teacher that people came back and said you didn't teach me
Right.
was. You know what I'm saying? Like you you have these failures. Like there's one teacher who taught me life. Like I still talk to her today on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like she's one of the reasons why, I'm comfortable with talking to white people living coming out the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, she treated me like a human being. And then the next teacher did. And then I was just like, oh wait, this is kind of cool. But outside of that, like, no, I was living in the hood. Like, this is all we seen. We just seen each other. Like the only people that we seen like this, I mean, they was like trailer park, but only just hood park, if you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So like teaching my son how women really move. The other day we were having a conversation and a young lady asked him and said, hey, how do you move the way you move? Like you talk the way you talk. And he was like, yo, listen to my dad. Like my dad taught me. And I didn't realize how much he was actually listening to the things that I said. But he's really like a good kid where he's not sitting out there having a whole bunch of kids. He's thinking about his plan first. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not moving to where he's getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that he had to overcome, but yeah, that's him. That's just, you know what I'm saying, the line that we got to go through. That's cool. God has put us here for a kind of reason. So, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that he does for people in his service allows people to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I love who Isaiah is. But there are things that I had to learn that I had to really tell him. And definitely, it's where we had a conversation his mother where he was like, "Hey, Dad, 90% of what Mom said was a lie about you." "Oh, okay, thanks. But now we can have these conversations about what happened and why I wasn't around and why I didn't do X, Y, and Z." So then he was like, "Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense." Now we talk like every other day. You know what I'm saying? So it was some real talk, but his mother was literally like, "Oh, your dad, everybody who you see, every woman who you see, he's having sex with." "What? Really?" Like, no. I just have a lot of women who are friends. They just attract to my energy. I don't know what to tell you. "Oh, he don't want to be around." "No, I don't want to be around you." And so the police told me to stay away from you. Your dad told me to stay. Listen, I have a relationship with her dad more than she has. Okay? This guy calls me at least twice a month. "Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Hey, how your son doing? You good? Everything's okay?" Like, that's that's the type of man that I want my daughters to meet one day. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's the type of son that I want my son to be. But right now in modern society, it's like I told my son, "Hey, you got to move this way because there are girls who do certain things, bro. They will trap you. They will tell you because you're a nice guy and because my mama's." She said, "Because I'm a nice guy and because my mama's dying of cancer, I'm keeping the baby." And back then, I didn't know what that meant. So when I say I was like so oblivious, I was like, "What? What do they mean? What
Don't
this
make
guy's mean?"
sense.
That's why I have the book. That's why I have the book online. Be the Upgrade. It's on Amazon right now. Go pick it up. It talks about the 12 steps. It talks about the nice guy. And I was like, back then, I was so naive. I didn't know. And I was like, what? But then I told her, and I said, "Listen, if you're going to have this baby, then we're not going to ever be in a relationship because you're forcing me to have this child after we had a conversation of not having children. I'm 20, you're 19. This is not going to make any sense. Like, literally, this is my freshman year in college. Like, what are you doing?" She's like, "Nah, because you're a nice guy." And literally, when I was about to have another child, "Oh, I thought you was going to have Isaiah only." What? You just had two
Entitlement, man.
kids. So this was going to have one child and you had three kids and I was going to be okay. What is going on in this world? You know what I'm saying? So it's like there are men like me who they don't talk because we are scared of what our kids think of us. We're not that men out there, you know what I'm saying, like just shaming ourselves. So it isn't until you have a gangster daddy like myself. You know what? I should make a t-shirt like that. It isn't until you see a gangster daddy like myself where all of a sudden my son really just understands how life really is moving. Like, hey, okay, I understand, okay, this is how my mom really moved towards me. Because then he understands why his grandfather don't come around. He understands why family don't really talk to each other. Like it's not natural.
Mm.
Like it's not. So I had to literally force that relationship with my parents and my kids. But I always tell my sister, I always tell my family, "Hey, just watch out because she does some snake stuff." Like it just, but nobody talk about it. Nobody talk about it, and I didn't talk about it for years. But now that my son is older, my son don't care. He's like whatever. But he can't really stop me because I'm my own man. Like I'm the daddy. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's also time because I've been through so much and I didn't say nothing. Nothing. So it's like we have to be real with our children as men. We have to be so real because women really ain't gonna do it. They already have a code. We break our code because of our kids. But we have bro code. There's always gonna be bro code, but it's not gonna be bro code for our kid. Real men, we gonna take care of our kid before we come in, bro, you gonna die. But we know that if we gonna take care of our kids together, we gonna take care of them together. Don't cross each other, don't do anything crazy. But women don't really break code for their kid. From what I've seen, they're not really telling their sons, "Hey son, this is how women really move." So that you can get ahead in life and you can get women, you can get the right women that you want. Instead, there are men online crying, desperate, saying, "Hey mom, why didn't you tell me how to have a grandson or a granddaughter for you? Nobody's attracted to me, nobody know how I am." Like I'm like, what in the world? You got men committing suicide.
Mm.
It is
Okay.
crazy out here. And I'm like, This is why Caroline hate me. Okay, this is why Caroline really hate me because I exposed her to this world of men, and she was like, "Oh, that's what y'all really be going through." Oh, she was like, "I hate it.
It's crazy you
I
say
hate it
that.
for y'all. I hate it."
We
There's
got to move on.
never
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but let's go to the next question. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all.
All right. So, does your spouse cover you under the marriage covenant?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go in depth about that because that could be a loaded question. So,
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So,
yeah, it's a loaded question. Like, is it should it be
because to my
like
knowledge,
should they?
you got the Father, you got God the Father, you got
yeah.
Christ the Son, and then you got the Holy Spirit, and then under that now we have God who covers us. So it's the men, women, then the children. So when you're talking about covering, I need to know exactly what you mean by cover.
All right.
Put the question
So
back
when I
up.
talk about cover, I'm talking about protecting. Do you like protect your spouse? Are there situations when you're out in the street and let's say your spouse does something that's out of pocket? Do you correct them
I see where you
in
go.
public
I see where you
and
go.
embarrass them, or do you correct them in private? Do you be like, yo, like, all right, we gonna handle this. You know, you good. And then after that, when you go home, be like, yo, I don't think you should have made that move. But not only that, just how do I put this in a way that I can
It's still kind of loaded. So the question is like, is it towards you, the individual, or like you're doing something at a place?
well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a place. I just
So
mentioned
like,
that,
am I with my spouse and my spouse does something to me outside,
or let's say they violate
or is it?
or get you into a situation where how do you put it, where they're being loud and boisterous. Like let's say your wife, she's arguing with a man, and she's really not supposed to be doing that, and the argument started off something innocent, but now she's gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna get my husband to do XYZ, and then that puts you into danger. In that situation, do you still cover your spouse and be like, yo, bro, like, sorry
For
about this,
me,
she's just bugging?
this is just for me. Okay. Now, when me and said wife are doing whatever together, we always want to make sure that we keep it Bible based. So I always give her the room to be like, listen, because I always tell her all the time, if for some reason that you are getting into it with somebody, I will give you the freedom and the space to handle it on your own. If anything were to happen and it starts to increase and then you start to feel uncomfortable, don't hesitate to call me because then I'm going to come back you up. Now, secondly, you forgot when two people become one, they're now a union. You're one person.
Right.
So when it comes to boxing, you want to make sure your right and your left is protecting your face.
Mm,
Woman and man supposed to protect the house and the children therein.
right.
That being said, I think it's
Good
really
analogy.
I think it's really important that we're supposed to protect one another. You feel what I'm saying? So if I know, me being from the streets, right? If I know there's a bunch of routes that we could take, I'm not taking you through the hood at all. If I live in the hood, I'll take you the safest route to get to the crib. But other than that, I'm not gonna. There should be no reason why I have you in a position where you're uncomfortable and it's unsafe.
Right.
Now, if we're in public and I know you're wrong, I'm
Hmm.
not gonna embarrass you. That's the last thing I'm gonna do. I'm
Right.
gonna let you get what you got to get off, and then okay, baby, let's go. Once we get to the crib, where I'll talk to you decide. Okay, I'm not gonna cap. You were kind of wrong. However, we can move on from this. It's okay.
But now let's
When
say if she's embarrassed, say if she is like going that, like she's not listening, like she's like forget she's respecting you at the moment. She's just not respecting what you're saying. You just and I'm not and there's a difference between now there's the range between like just not respecting you because she might be intoxicated or something, or she might just be really enraged or blacked out, or there might be that other side which is she just really don't respect you and is really violating you. You know what I'm saying? So it's
okay, so
like
let's talk about this. Why is she intoxicated?
He just threw that in
Right. Let's go there.
for an example. He just threw that in
Even if she
there.
is intoxicated, you and as a sober person, you should already know. Okay, it's one of those again. Either way, you still got to protect her because at the end of the day, you knew what she was like. You knew she was a party animal. You chose to marry that, so it's your responsibility to handle that. So again, when she sobers up, get her dressed, take it to the crib, tuck her in, nice and okay. Hey, we got to talk about
Let's
what
say you
happened
didn't
last
know.
night. We got to talk about what happened last night because that wasn't cool. There are certain ways to assert yourself as a man toward an emotional being because with women, it's not about what we said, it's how we said it in the tone. So, again, if you're talking to a woman that's supposed to represent you no matter where you go, you're talking to yourself because if she's an extension of you, there ought to be certain things that certain rules and regulations she's supposed to abide by. Like, hey, babe, look,
Mm-hmm.
cover up. You good? I'm not telling you how to dress. I'm just saying you have a 98% chance of being catcalled and dudes just trying to just touching you nowadays than
Right.
you are when you're fully covered up. Because at first glance, they gotta respect it. You got hello beautiful, as opposed to what's good, bitch. You look wild. Ooh, you know what I mean? There's a difference.
No, but listen, but you see, you come from a different world where you don't know that women actually listen. I went to Daytona where I was saying, hey, beautiful, and literally didn't get nothing. And literally, hey, bitch. And they turned around, and I was like, "What world am I living in?" But I was in Daytona. I realized I was
That's
like, you know what? I'm literally living a different experience because I was in the South. That was my first time in the South. Like I remember we from up north, so I didn't like as I started learning, and I'm like, oh, this is how y'all really kind of like talk. Because up north, if you call somebody a bitch, like you getting killed. Like you're getting killed if you call the woman a bitch. Like it's you know what I'm saying. Like it was different. So
I think
and then you got to realize you might also let's say you coming from that world. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you coming from that people who lived in you know what I'm saying, like the gutter. You might be talking about the women who should, but what about the women who ain't? Remember, 50% of marriages right now are ending. 100% out of 100 marriages, 50% and 50% of ending in divorces, and then majority of them are by women, 80%. So it's like
mm,
in reality, as we're talking to the masses and not just ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we then talk? How do we then address those men who don't see that or they're going through those situations as well?
it's crazy you say that
Because,
because
like,
hmm, it's I've seen all sides.
there you
So
go.
I started off in
Okay, that.
church because I was, bro. I've got stories. So SDA kid, MOB affiliated,
But
and
the stories and experiences shape you into who you have become, and so somebody's story that had them going through again, like a person like myself, who I just kind of other men shaped you to be like, you know what? Let me kind of learn. Let me sit back from both of these people, not just the woman, but the man too, and be like, I see where he done did some mistakes, and I see where he done did wrong. Even though he's sharing his story, I would have never did this. I would never did that, but I understand why it happened because you know what I'm saying. Like we're talking amongst men as well, not just two males, three males, and we're just
right.
in the bar, like so. The experiences that you share, not just your help other men be like, oh, okay, so somebody else experiences that because it's not just our own as well.
Well, if you look at today, I realized that in my 30s, we are now considered OGs or old heads. It's weird.
Oh hell
It's
yeah, I'm an
stupid
unk.
now.
I'm an unk down here.
Yeah, I ain't get called unk yet, thank God. So
Yeah, I'm an unk in Atlanta.
I think oh yeah, you unk for sure. So I think at this present time, because a lot of both sides of the spectrum don't know what it is to see what marriage looks like. Half of these women ain't really have a father like that, and for the ones who did have a father, they got terribly spoiled to the point where it's like said man has got to do better than what the father did.
Mm.
So again, it goes back to basic rudiments of dating, like it's like meet and greets. You have to see these signs for yourself and know how to
Yeah.
further move. Because, like I said, I've seen all sides. I've seen the church girl side. I was gang affiliated heavy for years. So I've seen that side going to high school, doing a whole bunch of nonsense. I've been the one to catcall and call a woman a bitch type ish. And then now that I've crawled my way back to God, like, yo, I'm even seeing that. It's just I'm seeing all sides of the spectrum. It's just weird now because social media is now raising our girls. It's cool to
Yeah.
be disrespectful. It's cool to be prerogative. It's cool to be on OnlyFans and say your body because you're getting that bag. And in some other cases, it's cool to be single and never want to have kids up until they turn like 50
Yeah.
and 60. But for the most part, these girls are really stuck in set in their ways. Like, I don't want no marriage. In fact, there was a whole study
Yep.
of women asking, would you rather a successful man with a 9 to 5 job who can eventually get to the bag, or would you rather the cheating spouse but he already got the bag? And these mugs said they all chose
And they said the
the
cheating stuff.
cheating one with the bag. I'm just like, wait, what?
Cheating stuff.
How? It, how?
Because it goes back to being in their it goes back to being in their nature. Like, this is us as it's I be asking God all the time, like, why do I want other women besides the one you want sometimes? Like, you have your muse. You might get that you might get that, and when you do, you keep it. If you don't and you lose it, like, you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are consequences to you losing that. It's like a gift. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, something like my dad, he'll sit back and he'll be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, I miss your mom and shit. And I'd be like, you talking about her 30 something, 40 something years later. And I'm like, you sound so, like, you don't sound it, but he's like, yo, because I really, messed up. But at the same time, there were things that happened as well. So I'm just like, yo, listen, man, bro. I was like, I kind of get it and I understood. But when I said that situation, he was like, oh, I get it. It's kind of different. So I told my son, like, once you get the one that that's it, like, you hold on to it, because like, there are one in a million. But besides that, like, you are going to try many, because that's what's in your nature to do it. If not, you might not know what it is until you are, like, maybe your environment allows you to do that. Like, what y'all environment, what allows you to do, like Oshkosh, that allows you to do that. You see your wife and she never been with nobody, and be like, all right, because the environment that she grew up with, the systems that were made. If you outside in the regular world, it's kind of like chaos. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
I
It's like,
understand. We were never supposed to be together. Like when I tell you
right,
her family is like so, I wouldn't call it high maintenance, but she's already a fashion designer and got all these sports under her belt. But like when you look at the father and the mother and what they got going on, I'm like, the most I saw fit for you to be on this bus. But in reality, if you were to meet me on a regular average day, bro, we weren't supposed to be together. We just weren't. Because
you
I was
gotta upgrade.
dude, I was way too hood, and it wasn't until I met the rest of her family and her uncle fella, and yo, bro gave me some business plans. He's the primary reason why I ended up opening up a life insurance policy and this, that, and the third. He taught me about the liquidation of money and things of that nature, and letting it sit and letting it grow. And I
Facts.
was like, dog, thank you. And yeah,
Bro, I know
so
all of that. I just can't do it because of child support. Again, the other side that we don't talk about. I was right there. I literally know everything. I was about to take the test.
Can I
yo, that went left so fast.
But
can I say something
it did.
quick though?
It did. My bad. We can go back to it though. My bad. My bad. I
Let,
don't know. It
But
just
I
let's
came
went
out.
left so fast.
let's talk about child
It
support real quick. Um, there have been some situations where a man was giving a woman X amount of money for child support, and then when she asks it for it to be increased, they go to the court, and the judge is like, "Oh, nah, you're not supposed to pay this much. You're paying too much." All right, so here we go. From
That's a
500,000 to
complete
now
judge.
6,700. And then it's like, and then the woman is like, yeah, because he was paying over. You know what's the crazy thing? You can pay child support as much as you want, but if you pay over the amount, you get arrested for that. If you're
It's
underpaid,
not in all cases. So like for me, unfortunately, because I was in the court, like people behind me literally came and was like, yo, what you going through is messed up. I literally came to the court and I was like, listen, I don't make what I make anymore. Like what I used to make at the time, I didn't make that anymore. I made literally like maybe $15 less than that. So in an hour, think about that. So think about then multiplying that, how much time I worked. So I'm like, you're asking for $1,200. They were supposed to modify it in the court. They never did it.
Whoa.
of
They
course,
never did it. They never modified it in the court. So then they were like, if you don't pay a certain amount today, right now, you're going to jail. I had to pay a certain amount that day. Yeah, you know what I mean? Sure. Like,
That was intentional.
I'm telling you, like, I've been through stuff, but the only reason why, again, the Most High is amazing. Like, testimony that the reason why I have not been in jail yet. Like,
You got me
crazy.
beat because I was like, oh
Yep.
yeah, you could take me to jail. Like, I ain't getting no
it's
more money.
crazy.
I'm going.
And
Putting something
and
in jail because they can't
it's like
afford to child support
child
payment.
support is illegal.
It should be.
It's the reason why it's illegal is because there are laws, there are actual laws, and dang, I forgot my paper. There were actual laws that are set,
These reasons
and that's
why.
we'll do another podcast for that, where or I'll teach that because I ain't gonna do it for free because what I'm learning I have to pay for it, and it's a lot. But there are laws that I've learned about that you have dealing with due process. Like for instance, your license. Like, what does your license have to do with? What does your child support have to do with your license? So if you can't
Mm.
work,
They're gonna suspend it.
then you can't pay anything.
Mm.
If you can't, if you don't have, let's say your transportation was to drive, which is it depends on where you live. So somebody who lives they depend on the car, depending on where you live. If you don't live in Atlanta, or if you don't live in a type of city, like in Manhattan, think about it. In Manhattan, who has a car? Who really has a car? Who really has a car anywhere? Who lives anywhere close to Manhattan? You got to live in Long Island or up north to be like, I have a car. You got to be in Jersey. You got to get
Jersey starting
tired
to
of
get back
buses and
too.
stuff. Like it isn't until you leave a major city. Even LA likes cars. They be sitting in traffic for an hour going down a 1 mile stretch. You know what I'm saying? Like they love their cars, but you know what I'm saying? Like in reality, like nobody's really sitting, nobody's doing that. So it's like it's trust me when I say it's illegal for somebody to take your, let's say your job is to transport. Think about how many people transport
Mm.
outside. Think about how many buses are outside. Think how many cabs. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting now your license is suspended, and now you can't work. Now you can't eat. Now you can't live somewhere. Now your children can't come to your and do the same things that you're able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like now those things bug a real man. And you got to understand there are two types of men. There's a man who loves his legacy, which I think is, us men that are talking right now. And those men don't care what the woman goes through, even though we've chosen that woman. Let's say it just go left. These are my kids. I'm going to make sure that my kids become great individuals because I know what the Most High told me to go do. Then there are men who just care about the poom poom. And so those are the guys who call at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, be like, hey, how the baby doing? Knowing that the baby sleep.
I want to see my
Or,
child.
or, or the baby grown. Or the baby grown. Got his own phone and everything. Hey, how homie doing? You can call him yourself. Oh no, I just wanted to make sure, he all right, she all right, she good.
Sounds like a Tyler Perry movie.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
you
Like
straight?
it's different. When I say I've learned it, but I've learned it from listening to other men. I've learned it from being in court. I've learned it from going through the experience. You know what I'm saying? Like it's child support. There was a story about a guy. I posted it on my. I'll find it and I'll repost it. There was a man who had killed himself. It was a white guy. He was married. I think he had two kids, and he had a boy and a girl. I think he was married for over 5 years. Wife ended up divorcing him just out of the blue. She was unhappy. Just took the kids one day, just left them. Took the house, just divorced them. Then he ended up losing everything, so he ended up getting a loan. The loan that he ended up getting was about 50K. Child support took all of it. His bank account was left with $4.50, and then he killed himself. This is reality. This is reality.
Question,
Like,
oh no, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Now you know what? I feel like if something happens to a man off the basis of that and someone is able to prove it, I feel like the woman should pay for it and go to jail. You made him go through all that hell, just got some,
That's why.
and it's like now
That's
it's
why there's a new law.
$4. $4 is not even enough to buy groceries. You buy one sandwich. Nah, it's tax. You probably $6.50 for the hero. But I'm just like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Like,
It's 650 dollars for a hero.
You
Wait a
can't even
minute.
get it in Arizona. That's only $1.
Wait
That's
a
messed
minute.
up, dog. I
nah,
gotta
it's
get a
just
sandwich
like
with no Bev.
$8 now. Like, when I go,
No, Bev. You want to get a Fiji water, but sometimes you got to go for that Aquafina. You know that Aquafina bad for you, but you gotta get it. You know what I'm saying?
I
Then you gotta really be healthy and just go for the spring water that's sitting right there at the gas station that's trying to get out there in this world because they know it's real, but nobody wants to get to it because it is like, oh no, that's fake. And then they realize the purified water is really fake because purified water is everywhere in Walmart. It's everywhere in Target. You don't even see spring water no more. You know what I'm saying? Like people gotta wake up. Duh. That goes that like you can't it's so crazy. Yo, it's so crazy.
we gotta bring it back in. We gotta bring it back in.
Go ahead.
I want us to get off track, but continue what you're saying. $4 to his name. But yeah, like I was saying before, women should be jailed for that if they make men go through that. Like, because
They are.
there's a
They
group
are
of
being
people
now.
right now who's about to be pissed off because you said that. No cap.
A lot of people. I don't care.
so
Listen, listen. This is the year. 2024 is a great year. It's a great year. It's the year of it's the year of balance.
mm,
In the year of truth, especially.
2024 is the year of truth. Like I had to be real with myself. I'm not going to say I'm a great dad. My son had to sit there and say, "Hey, listen, Dad, you're a great dad." When I'm like, "Nah, listen, I really don't feel like it." He's like, "Nah, despite what you had to go through, and I had to really see it. Not like not like I had to saying you a great guy. No, I literally have proof that I talk to her dad almost every other day. Like we talk at least, I mean, not every other day, but like at least once or twice a month. Like he'll call me, even if I don't pick up. Like his wife lived there, and like there are people who will literally tell me, but it's only because they'll tell me like I feel like I'm legit, like not a good ass dad. Like I feel it because my daughters are so young and they don't know. But it's only my son who makes me realize and be like, "Listen, Dad, you really you do your thing, man. You do your thing." And he had to get older. It's just that I have sisters too, just like I have sons, just like I have brothers. I've seen what it can go on the wild side. I've seen what women go through when they don't have their dads around, and I don't want my daughters to be like that, like at all.
What I will tell
You're
you,
not coming on a podcast talking about, oh yeah, by the way. my daddy XYZ.
What I will tell you, as like from father to father, sometimes that sense of being a good dad is not going to come from ourselves. And I think it's
Yeah,
important to hear from other people because baby girl, sometimes she be having
yeah,
to reassure me because I'm like through all the training
it
I'm
does.
going through, trying to push toward a greater job in law enforcement. I feel like I'm always out in the field, and when I get home, I only get to say, "Hey, good night," whatever the case. And she be having to reassure me, like, "No, you're a good dad." Like I found out my son doesn't have autism, praise the Most High, but he does have some kind of speech. I wouldn't even say speech impediment, but his anxiety levels they get really high. So
Mm.
instead of saying thank you, you're welcome, we'll be like thank you, and then he'll repeat it, and then you say you're welcome, he'll repeat that too. And when he gets anxiety, his hands get to shaking, and I was learning so many things when the person was giving us tools and things to really abide by to help communicate with him, and I felt so bad because I'm like, here I am, just a Trinity man. To, oh gosh, now sit down, come here, all kinds of stuff, and it's like I'm getting mad at him when he's literally trying his best to move at a pace that we're all moving at. So there'll
Mm.
be times where I get really down on myself, but I, hey, as men, take it to the chin, bro. I feel like you're doing a good job because I don't know, real recognize
I,
real, real
I
recognize
took it
real.
to the chin. I appreciate you. I took it to the chin a lot of times where the kid was just like, yo, listen, because one time the last time I beat him, I really realized like, yo, I really messed you up. Like I beat the shit out of you literally. Like you had to use the bathroom. Like this is not I made it literal. Like this was crazy. I was like, yo, bro, I don't know. I was like, you know what? I feel like I just might have and then I had to realize how bad I got beat and be like, you know what? I don't think this is like normal. Like there's a difference between getting disciplined and getting the beating. Like and like getting your ass beat like disrespectfully. Like you're getting
I
abused.
get
You know what I'm
beat for
saying? Like abuse is real.
everything.
Parents have abused their kids. And you know what I'm saying? Like and marriages expose that too. They just don't talk about it a lot because, people are scared to expose themselves when they get divorced or even in their marriage. But even how like they treat their children, you know what I'm saying? Like outside it look a one way. But walk into that door.
We gotta move on to question four. Question four
Question.
is: can you effectively express your feelings with your spouse? Now, I know for two of you, the answer might be different. Trini, you're currently married. I know Upgrade, you were married and you've been through some stuff. So, who wants to go first? Because I'm pretty sure
I,
both experiences are going to be interesting.
of course, I'm going to be following Bible with this one. I say yes. Again, your spouse is supposed to be an extension of you and you her. Wherever you go, you're supposed to carry yourself in that light. You're still representing one another. So, with that said, instead of telling her, yo, sometimes when I'm watching a game, can you please shut the hell up? Instead of saying that, you be like, sweetheart, I'm not trying to say nothing, but if I could just watch 9 minutes of the Warriors highlights, just 9 minutes and 32 seconds, could you please reserve talking just for those 9 minutes and 32 seconds? There's just certain ways. She's texting me right now. That's funny. But
Yeah.
there's certain ways you can communicate how you're feeling
Right.
without being, oh, honey, I'm just feeling this. And, I just feel like you don't listen to me. Like, bro, you can express how you feel as a man without being feminine, if that makes any sense.
Right. And you don't have to
Um,
be rough either.
and with women, it's normally the smaller things. So anything that, baby, honestly, you're doing a real good job today. Something like that will spark a woman's day. Um, what else? I like the way you do the dishes, or even if she's doing something wrong, there's
Mm.
still a way to communicate that, like, babe, look, you might want to look at the directions because you're doing that all wrong. Here, let me show you. And you want to help me? Have fun with it.
Right.
But
Like, stop burning the toast. No, we stop.
but again, it's during the dating stage,
Hmm.
you are supposed to be getting to know your partner. So if you're not, hey, little man, scared the heck out of me. You, nah, bro, he's so scary. But I say yes. You got to know who you're working with. Know who your partner is. If she's ghetto and has no understanding, even if you try to be anywhere near, to just level out with her and try to communicate, she's not going to receive it. And then she's going to call you all kinds of names and say, "Oh my, you ghetto." I ain't trying to hear that. No. Know who your women are. Know who you are dealing with. I can't stress that enough. Because as much as we blame women for stuff, we got to take accountability for who we choose. Like
Exactly.
Jack, she was my friend and all that, and all of a sudden now we together. Now it's this, that, and the other. Because you can't move how you used to when you were single, when you're married, bro. You just can't. You
Right.
can't. And as much as we hate to, Dag, I gotta delete all my female friends and this and that. You ain't gotta delete them. But just like Caroline, when she says hello, when she be FaceTiming me, "Hey yo, where the wife at? Tell the wife I said hello. Hey kids, hey Shay, whatever." That's what she does. She includes the wife so she won't feel no way. When
Yeah.
it comes to a personal dude and his personal girlfriend, it's like, why don't you ever introduce us and things of that nature? And as a man, I felt like this at one point.
No, but then that's a man thing too,
Yeah, because I felt like, yo, why do I got to
because
tell you everything? You're not my probation officer. You're not my teacher or none of that. And it wasn't until, counseling, I figured out, okay, it's a security issue or whatever. They won't tell you, but hey, Shorty may be prettier than her or whoever. And understand my so-called celebrity in New York, because I took her to New York a few times. I know a lot of people, and the majority of them are women. You got people running from across the street. "Oh my God, Trini, I haven't seen you so long." And rocking, she saw the gangster ones, she saw the nice ones, she saw the ones that lived in my hood, she saw every last one of them. So, yeah, it's accountability, bro. That's just me. Me.
You know what? I gotta say something real quick. I remember, I think this is like 2018. I hit up one of my friends. This wasn't a person that I was close with, but I had met them through somebody mutual, so we had kept in touch. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And the girl texted back, "Oh, my boyfriend says hi." I didn't respond. I kind of got annoyed a little bit. I'm like, "Why are you moving weird?" And so now that a few years have passed by, it's like now I finally understand. She was because look, think about this. Her boyfriend or significant other probably could have had her phone was like, "Yo, who's this dude texting my woman?" And maybe that was just her extending courtesy and respect to be like, "Yo, this is my friend," because there are some guys that will get insecure and be like, "Yo, why are you talking to other men?" But it's all about a respect factor. I didn't understand that. Now I get it. Before I was offended. I was like, "Yo, I don't even like you like that." But it wasn't a matter of that. The thing is, if you got male friends and female friends, you know, respectfully, be like, "Yo, this is so and so. This is who I'm married to. These are my kids." It's about a level of respect. So now I understand that. Before I didn't, but I'm gonna pass the mic off to the upgrade, and then we got to jump to the next question.
um,
You want me to put the question up again, or
yeah, put it up again.
all right?
Put it, put it up again.
Can you effectively
Okay,
express your
question
feelings
four.
to your spouse?
That's your spouse. Um, when your spouse is
This is about to go
not in their
somewhere.
emotions, yes,
When they what?
and when you're not in your emotions as well. Because when you're emotional, you would do things out of emotion.
Ah, I see. I got you. I got you.
You're punching things out of emotion. You're hitting things out of emotion. You might hit her out of emotion, and so it depends on the spouse. That's why it goes both ways. Like it depends on somebody who's not emotional,
Right.
both ways. So if you can effectively say something and they can effectively sit there and be like, hey, I understand what you're saying without getting in their emotions and without getting hot and without getting mad and be like, damn, how can it, y'all can really talk. But outside of that, yeah, you and your feelings, oh shit, yeah, somebody gonna get hot. Somebody gonna get hot. Some hands is gonna fly. And
Right.
most of the time, women's fly, not most of the time, let me not say that. Again, if it goes back to being in their emotions,
Right.
the person who's the most emotional, their hands will mostly fly first.
Let me read what
A soft
Dia.
answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir anger. Got her both. Yep. Go, hey, girl.
I gotta say one thing. Shout out to y'all. The engagement tonight, it's
Little man.
amazing. Love y'all. Anyway, upgrade. Go ahead, continue, brother. And then we're gonna jump to the next question.
Oh nah, I'm just that's the. Dia said it like that. That was the scriptures.
Right.
If she could just be my scripture person, she know what I be saying. If she could just boop, pop it up, it'd be great for the next couple times because she know what I be saying. Like that right there. Like you just it you know what you can say to not get somebody so mad. I'm telling you, it will go a long way. A soft answer turns away wrath, but grieveth, grievous
The
words stir up
grievous
anger.
words stir up
Gotta
anger.
both come from a place of respect while expressing yourself. Yeah, you gotta respect. When you just like Trini said, we are one. When you see yourself, you see you. So why are you disrespecting yourself? Why am I getting you mad
That's the
if you
answer.
me?
That is
You
the
did you
answer
gotta
right
respect
there.
myself, man. We won like that. I'm mad. Like you mad. That's not how I'm mad. Like now you mad. So now I know what you're about to do when you mad. So now I gotta really feel all that. If I love and respect myself, I'm not gonna go through that or put you through that to get there. So let's play chess here. But most people are in their feelings. Most males and females are in their in their feelings. But men and women, they're more logical. That's why you have to argue about the word female and women right now. Because you can't just say, "Hey, you're a female." When you put the word woman in there, it holds something. And
Right.
it should hold for men as well. It should hold for men. So that's why you have men saying, "Oh, men do all this." No, stop that. Males do that.
Yeah.
Grown little boys. You don't
Right.
sit there and say, "Hey, let's go talk to that fuck male, that fuck man." No, he a fuck boy.
Right.
Well, he little fuck. You
I like that. I like that a lot.
know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like you gotta like words mean something. You know what I'm saying? So as men, there are things that we hold a standard to that we do that you're gonna be like, all right, listen, I ain't gonna roll that way. I ain't gonna do that because you know what I'm saying. As a man, this is how I roll. When it comes to my kids, when it comes to how I talk to you as a woman or as a man, because we gonna really go at it. And as a man, she should know how to talk to you. She should know certain things not to say to you. Let's say your mother died when you were young. She should know not to talk about your mom because it might get you in your feelings. But now she'll bring up, oh yeah, your mama died. And by the way, I took her ashes and I threw it in the river.
Right. When your daddy,
Like,
when you
somebody go to jail.
right.
Somebody's going to jail if they don't have if they don't sit there and be like, you know what? Well, I've experienced my mother in real life, and I realized that these ashes just symbolize who she is. And you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just, I have pictures and I love her, but there's females in her attitude. I realize I just gotta let her go. I realize I just have to let her go. Every random medieval tactic. Yes. Yep, there you go. Telling you.
We gotta
We're
move
gonna
on
do the
to
podcast together, I'm telling you. But anyway, but yeah. So I'm telling effectively talk, but there's the sad reality is that there is the other side that is really not talked about. Like most of the time you see the platforms, women talking about men ain't shit. We know we ain't shit. We know. Men know. Men know. Males don't know. Males
mm,
don't know. Those are the ones who get in their emotions. Oh no, you ain't saying this. Oh no, I know I ain't shit. I know I've done some ain't shit sometimes. I know I have. I know. No. But at the same time, my characteristics, my character outweighs all the dumb shit that I've done. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really like OD. I ain't out here, you know what I'm saying, like doing some dumb stuff on YouTube, wilding out, you know what I'm saying, like doing something for money. It was like it's different. You know what I'm saying? So effectively we can talk, but I'm telling you, there's another side where there's a lot of men who they try to talk effectively, they don't know how to. That's why they leave. They'll tell them literally, "Hey, listen, this is what I want." Yo, you use bathroom? That's because you playing the music. Why are you talking to her? You just playing the music. I'm on a whole podcast. Leave me alone. Anyway,
Never do.
what did you say? Yeah, I'm telling you, I love her comments. Bro. She said, "Yeah, you sitting there playing your music the whole time about the whole podcast. You sitting there blasting it." I'm like, "Damn, he came in like." I'm like, let me not bother him here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get into, you know what I'm saying? Like, we chilling, start getting in the bathroom, our own space. But anyway, next question.
Yes.
If, unless you want to stay on this one,
Do you?
do you and your spouse have emotional boundaries?
Yes.
We should.
Let me say one thing, right? When it comes time to arguing or getting in your feelings, when your spouse throws out certain ritual or things that you did over the past year or couple of years, it can be the worst thing because it's like there's no need to throw in that
Trump
10,
card.
10 years ago, um, you know,
They call it Trump card.
you came and said this about my mother and blah blah blah. Or you disrespect my family. Look, that's in the past. Focus on what is going on in the present and deal with it. But we're gonna deal with this question right now. So, do you and your spouse have emotional boundaries? Are there
We should.
lines where it's like, yo, I know I can't cross that? Like you have to know them down to the bone. But Trini and then the upgrade.
Oh, absolutely. Because for one, don't play with me, and same thing with her. There's just certain lines we just cannot cross. Like I be telling her, there are certain things that you have yet to find out about me, but I have that at bay because I don't live that life no more.
Mm,
Because understand something, if you were back where I lived in and I was still gang affiliated, if
yeah,
you fix your mouth to want to talk to me crazy, I
yeah.
wouldn't even have to touch you. Shorty would have been smacked the taste out your mouth. I
Mm,
don't live that life no more. I live for
right,
Christ now. So
yeah.
at the beginning of this thing, I'm like, is
You're
there
free from the
anything?
bondage of Jamaica Queens.
Yeah, so I asked them like, yo, so is there anything in terms of any kind of trauma or things of that nature that happened in your past? And after telling me you said things, I was like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do, right? Now that I know this about you and I told you a little bit about me, what we're not going to do is when we get into an altercation or something like that. Oh, you just like your father. You don't even know my father. You can't say that. Stop it.
Mm,
So I don't want to hear. Don't compare me to nobody or nothing like that. Like
right.
that's not me. I'm not none of these cats. So we're gonna keep this
Oh my
respect level
God. You
up
know how
and
many
running.
people I try to explain that to? Like when you
It's
are
it.
compared to the father, you are screwed. That was me. I was compared to, I was screwed. I didn't even know that until later. I was screwed. If I knew that, why? Why? I don't, nobody cares. Nobody cares. The only people that care that my daughters are princesses are me and the person that she marries. That's it.
That's it.
The rest of the world don't give two flying cares.
And the kind of person I am, if you're going to talk about something from 10 plus years ago, bro, I stopped
Right.
listening to you. I
Mm,
stopped listening because at the end of this point, because at this point, if I tried this with you, I know you ain't gonna let that pass, and you're gonna flip. So why would you then do it to me? I
Yeah.
understand emotionally what you're going through. However,
Yeah.
don't do that to me because if I'm not doing that to you, I don't deserve that at all. You don't
correct.
hear me saying
Right.
I don't hear you don't hear me talking about oh you talk just like your mother or you got bushy eyebrows or whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to attack your character.
Mm,
I would never try to attack your character because at the end of the day, me knowing these flaws and me choosing not to roast you all year round,
Yeah. I
Just
tolerated you.
it's not even the fact that I tolerate it. It's just the fact that I loved you enough to call me mine because of the qualities that you didn't demonstrate in terms of being ghetto, the attitude, and things of that nature. Even got to know your mother, your father, your sisters, and all of them. So evidently, you were a good pick, not just because of what you decided to show me at first glance, but how these people actually described you. Like, hey, my daughter, she can, she can be a little bit, but at the end of the day, she's a God-fearing woman. Okay, cool. Move on. The mother, and she'll tell me everything. But I never heard nothing bad except for the fact that she's always in sports, and she had this thing about being a fashion designer, and Shorty could draw, and she's great with money. If it wasn't for her, my mother would have never graduated college, and that's a fact because math is like her best subject.
Right.
Homegirl is a genius. So once you have a boundary, you do understand that, okay, this person has morals, this person has standards. I can't just play with him like that. And that's over time, it's etched into their brain. I'm not gonna play with this man like that because he goes to work, he slaves all day. When he gets home, his feet be hurting, all kinds of aches and pains. Mind you, my utility belt, 2 guns, handcuffs, taser, the cartridges for him, the keys and all that. It's like 30 to 40 pounds extra. And I stand on my feet all day. So me almost losing my life to keep a room and a light over y'all's head, don't play with me like that. Please don't. And I'll never play with you like
I
that. I'll
respect
never
that.
play in your face. I'll never come at you in any type
Yep.
of disrespectful way. It's vice versa. It can't just be one sided. I yield the floor.
That's beautiful. There was something that you said earlier, right? You were talking about how her uncle was telling you about, life insurance and liquidating, assets and stuff like that, like money. Um, One of the most important things, and I think people fail to realize this: when you get married, it's not just you and that person alone; it's you and their family. If there's something that can come out of it, where like, yo, not only can you be a blessing to that family, but their family can be a blessing to you. That
That's
that
a
right
fact
there,
because, mind you, he never would have helped me. Listen, he just invited us to a cookout that he was having at his crib, whatever. Okay, cool. So he asked me if you drink beer. I'm like, yeah, I'll drink a couple beers down with you. And he started talking to me and things of that nature. And I've, when it comes to people of that stature, you have to learn how to articulate your words, and
right?
they'll definitely let you know whether your vocabulary has definitely increased or
Hmm.
plummeted. So my responses to him was like, "Wow, this he's a sharp cat. I can actually trust him around my niece."
Right,
And
Right.
where I came from, they don't know me. Like, you from New York, we know about y'all,
right,
but you're different. So I trust you because you're also on an interview as well. You're getting married
Yeah,
to
it's the same
both
here.
sides of the family.
right.
So it can't just be like, oh, stay out of my
Yeah.
business, bro. This child is their business. Because before I
Yep.
came along, she was pregnant. She was doing this. She was doing that. She was calling more. And now she's pregnant. Y'all are married. We're starting to notice that we hear less and less, not significantly less, but she
Right.
doesn't call every single day. Every
Mm.
time your mother calls you, it doesn't mean you have to pick up every single time, because we
Right.
all know it's not an emergency. It's not an emergency. Baby, bring your backside to bed, please.
Mm.
So yeah, boundaries very important. Otherwise, you'll be disrespected consistently, constantly, and that's toxic. I can't love somebody that's quick to cuss me, because you can't love me and cuss me.
Mm.
Just like the Bible says, you can't profess the
Facts.
name of Christ and spew all kinds of cuss words and stuff out your mouth. It makes no sense. Like, yo, I really F with God. Tell me how that sounds. Please tell me.
Mm.
It can't coincide with one another. There has
Exactly.
to be a balance. Has to.
Well, well, uh, well, that's for another topic altogether.
Bro, been through some stuff, man. You've been struggling through these questions, dog. Man.
No, no, no. This is for vocabulary. This is just for vocabulary and words. Like I had to
Because
teach us in school, and I had to teach about curses and about the difference between curses and what's the other word that we use? Uh, what's that word that we use? Words that we use when we talk about curse words. They're not curse words. They are profanity. So there's a difference between the two. So that
Citizen.
was it. But yeah, that's another topic altogether. But can you
The way
effectively?
the
I
way
think
your
that you.
faces are made. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Nah, because there was this comedian I was looking at. His name is Bill Burr, and he was basically asking when he asks another married couple what it's like to be married. They
I knew
always have
someone
this
like
look
that.
on their
He
face
was
like they
like,
have a
"Yeah, God,
hernia.
Jesus is."
They always look like they have a hernia. Like, oh, marriage is
And that's
good,
crazy. I was
and
like that too. I was like, "Wait a minute,
yeah, I mean, so
Jesus
yeah.
is what? Jesus who?"
No, I was saying that
But nah,
there's a major
I think that you
difference.
can talk effectively. Um, wait, put up the question again. Trini
All
started
right,
first. Trini, by the way, great answer.
much
Um,
love.
do you and your spouse have emotional? Yes. So, in my marriage, I took this from what I did in teaching, and we had made a social contract because we were both teachers at the time. And the social contract that we made was where, listen, I won't call you by your name. You know, when we get emotional, I won't put my hands on you. Um, and I think there were like other things. Now there were things that we were missing as well, but the main things that I remember was again like not calling each other out our names because we really rarely ever did that. Like we didn't. And when it came to putting our hands on each other, besides the incident which set up on the hands on her when they did when so crazy. But that didn't happen. But besides that, like no, like and that's the reason why I won in my court case was because the court was like, yeah, there's no proof of him ever doing anything to you besides you saying he did this. So yeah, we're gonna throw this out to dismiss. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through
Mm.
some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why the upgrade is important because I kind of want to show me that you do have whatchamacallit. You can never really be prepared for the worst. You can't. You can try. The only
That depends on what your
that
worst
you can.
is. There's a lot worse, far worse than cheating.
I mean, if you learn from other people's mistakes, I think that you can. But you physically going through it, like nah. Like I can watch. Like I've been homeless before. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to literally lose my apartment soon. You're not seeing me online talking about, hey, can somebody cash at me $50? I'm literally finding a way out this. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't. Some things don't add up to certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no begging for me. I don't know how to do that because I was raised a different way, and I was raised from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom raised me a certain way, and then outside raised me as well, and then I had family. So my environment had a mixture of things that I had learned, and it was great. It was a great experience. It doesn't depend at all. It's just something, and really, that's impossible to be prepared for. Okay, I see what Green's saying. I think that, yeah, you're not necessarily. I agree, but some things could help to cushion the blow. Right. Okay, there we go. That's what I was about to say. So, like for instance, you having bread, but even the other day, what did what's his name say? Will Smith. He said, "I had all the money in the world. I got mad bread, and nothing mean nothing. Like I can do whatever I want, and it doesn't matter. Like it's not happy unless you have people around you. You have friends. You have people who you love. So, how many people have said that? I have money, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm lonely. I ain't got nobody. Yeah, because everybody wants your money. Everybody who there's more homeless people than there are rich people. So yeah, people want your money. They want people struggling than people who got it. So yeah, they want your money. So yeah, they're gonna come after you because you know what I'm saying? Like there's levels to it. You can't live in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? I'm lucky to have lived in the hood and to have went to schools and I had opportunities in other places where I'm like, oh, there's two different words out here. Cool. When Meek Mill's talk about there's the other side to America, even though I don't want to get into him and did he and stuff, but no, did he? But you know, he talks about the other side of America. There's another side of America that people don't talk about. You hungry? You know what I'm saying? Like there's levels to it. There's reasons why people look at right now the mass robbings and the mass stealings and why stores are closing nationwide. And it's not just because of inflation. It's also because of robbery. People are starving out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Like things are being caused for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like jails got to be filled and stuff. People are doing things out of emotion.
Yep.
Men like us, we try to create things like this right here in order to sustain ourselves, but we just trying to send a message first. Ain't nobody put their cash app yet. Ain't nobody say, hey, donate to us. You know what I'm saying? Like we just out here just talking. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference with what's going on today. There are platforms that you can do that with. So you can effectively talk just like we talking right now. And again, it goes back to like there's contracts that we made outside of here that we said, hey, we're not going to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Because without them, I ain't gonna lie, I was wilding a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I was saying little words I shouldn't have said, you know what I'm saying? But after things were said, after time was needed, you know what I'm saying? I was in my feelings at one point, and then I got out of them, and I was like, wait, hold on, you know what I'm saying? Like, at one point, tell them to stop playing.
Let's move on. I like what you said. Let's move on.
Let's
Question.
go to the next question.
Let me put this up. Name a time when I apologize for that. Name a time when you felt unappreciated by your spouse.
Ooh, spicy.
Just let's really answer this. Yeah, I'm ready to hear my story.
Mm, mm, mm.
Gonna mute myself for this one. Or I could talk about somebody else's story, but every time when you felt unappreciated.
There was this one. Still, I mean, it's a few times, but sometimes I don't really care. But this one particular time, this is literally just after the whole taser and mace and everything else that happened transpired. 2 weeks later, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the dishes. I'm gonna make sure everything is cool so she can just relax and all that jazz. And literally, I was doing it for about not even a week straight. It was like 6 days straight. And this happened on a Sabbath. She comes home and she starts blacking on me. And I was like, wait, whoa. What's the matter? Like, what's the problem? And she got pissed at me because she felt like I was taking her place or taking her role. I'm like, what do you mean taking your place? I didn't know that there's a lot of women out here who don't want men doing what they do on a regular basis. They have their routines, and when you have any dude who intercepts that routine and throws their day off and it throws their thoughts off, sometimes it throws everything off. And I was like, wait, what? So we got into a really bad fight, and I just went and I sat outside, and then I got a call, and I just did a 14-hour shift. I didn't even come home that day. I just was pissed. And so she ended up calling my mom for about 4 hours, then spoke to our deacon. And then that's when she came home and was like, I am so sorry.
Mm.
And I'm like, sorry for what? She goes, all this time you were just trying to lighten my load when in reality I didn't even think to appreciate and say thank you for what you've been doing. Like
Amen.
listen, we will be together 11 years in November. And
Wow.
I always try to I'm not saying we always take trips and things of that nature, but I always try to make sure that, hey, I'm keeping you in mind, whether it's trying to find purple tulips and purple flowers and anything with purple that I know she would appreciate. I just try damn near my hard on best to remember you and remember what I'm. It's a lot that I do on a daily basis, just as security alone. So when she blacked on me, I was so confused. I'm like, I thought I was doing the right thing here. And after the fight, like we Viper. sometimes she'll spit some crazy venom, and I know how I am and how I used to be. So there'll be times I'm like, I'm just gonna shut up and just walk out the door and just sit down and just try to talk to the Father. I was always taught by my mother, when you're at your angriest, that's when you really need to go to the Father in prayer. You ain't even gotta be like, oh, dear Heavenly Father. Just it'll look like you're talking to yourself, but talk to the man, talk to him. And when we come back together, she just apologized and everything. She goes, I am so sorry. I thank you for the fact that we haven't been homeless. There were times where I've left the job and didn't know where the money was going to come from. And she stayed
Mm,
and she didn't make a fuss about it. And she just thank you. It's important to thank your partner. It's really important to feel appreciated. That way, you know you're on the right track. It's it's like a reassurance thing. I don't be asking for it, but now that she's more appreciative and she'll throw me a bone here and there, I be feeling good. Like, yeah, I think I wear this dad thing pretty well. You know what I mean, but when you're doing all that you can, and you're still being condemned for it for something as small as doing the dishes.
mm.
Hey, I didn't feel like down in the dumps, but I was like, well, damn, what can I
Listen,
do? Like,
what I've learned is,
how?
be right. Yeah.
Yeah, you good? It's all you.
I think I've said enough on my part. When it comes, we could just skip to the next question when it comes to this one. We could just,
All right.
yeah.
So so now, all right. So for everybody that's here right now, we've given you, you know, we've given you the appetizer, but now we're about to give you the main course. This is where things really, really get serious. So when you see this question, think about it very logically. The question is, could you trust your spouse to handle all your medical and financial obligations in the event you become seriously ill?
Absolutely, she already does. I looked at all these questions before I even answered them prior to this.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I said they were interesting. They were very interesting questions. They were very good questions. Like they really had me thinking. But
So, mm,
on, go ahead, Trini.
this is gonna be quick. Um, I do exactly what my grandfather does. He brings home the money, he pays himself, and then when it comes to like all the bills and all that jazz, I'm not saying I don't pay them. I do, but I just give her the money and let her. Hey, baby, you got it. Go ahead, do you. And that's it. She handles my dental care and all that other jazz because I have ADHD. I'm not gonna cap, so there'll be times where I'll be kind of distracted or I'll just forget something. So with that being said, I'd be like, babe, listen, I have a lot going on, so would you be okay with you ain't gotta take care of it or whatever? And she cut me off. She goes, baby, I already got you. Go ahead, you got it, you good. So she's like I wouldn't say my financial advisor, but she's definitely my agenda book. She handles everything, and that's technically what a woman does. Like, you help your king move to the next level, and you encourage him, you elevate him, which ultimately elevates yourself, because whatever blessings I get, she gets automatically, and so does our sons. The blessings
Right.
flow from the
That,
head down.
that's what's supposed to happen. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So, yo, I hear you because I literally I did that, but that was one of the issues. That was it. It was because I was the one making the most, and I was the one that actually saved us from paying mad taxes. Like, I just not knew how to Fandango, and I just learned the game. So once I learned the game, it was like, oh, we saved with like maybe $400-500 a month in taxes. Like, just making that back on top of whatever was coming. Our taxes was coming in, and it was great. You know what I'm saying? It was just,
Mm.
there are sometimes you might not be that right person. Like, there are things that there are Like I did exactly that. That's what we argued about. One of the things we argued about was the fact that, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, you had your bread. Like I literally gave her the checks and said, here, do that. And then it got to a point where it was like, oh, I wanted you to take care of the finances. I'm the one that's making the most money out the house. What are you talking about? Like, it don't make any sense. Like, how does that make any sense?
Whoa.
Like, I'm the one that's making the most. I'm the one that's doing other things that's coming in. So, and I'm trying to do other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not want it tomorrow. A lot of people want it yesterday. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But like, things build. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on the partner. Just like you always say, Trinity, it depends on who you with. It depends on that person. So that woman is the one who's the man's muse. She's the one that's going to get that man doing things. She gonna do it. We are the ones that are outside being the workhorse. She just got to show herself. We the ones outside doing all the work to make sure that she's the one inside just getting, getting ponied down and getting white. You know what I'm saying? Like it's way different. It's tough when you see women, you know what I'm saying, out there looking rough, and you be like, damn, man, she look like she's been through some stuff. Wow, because she been through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's dudes too. You be like, damn, he ain't been through nothing. You be like, oh, this guy, his hands are softer than this is like something in the baby's bottom. He ain't been through nothing. Like he don't know what nothing. He just green. And you be like, how? You don't know nothing. You don't know how to do that. You don't know how to change the tire. You don't know how to screw up. You don't know left from left to right. You don't know how to do nothing. You don't know how to take a train. Nothing. Just I don't know. I just didn't know. I was in the house all day. So I just it was playing games all day. It was okay. No, like I'm a lot of and a lot of it isn't about money because you got to think about it. Right now, you have an influx of men who are rich, celebrities who are paid, make way more money than we do, paid. They're getting divorced left and right. Why are we just not happy? Yeah. And then on top of that, oh, I want the alimony and I want the cake and I want to eat it too and I want the pie and I go back to the child support. Like some of it is for the child support, other of it is just, oh, I'm just not happy. After 20 years, after 10 years, you're just not happy. Just not. I just want to be out there. I just want to explore. So I just want to explore. Then look at what's happening to some of them coming back. Oh my God, I can't believe. And I'm saying, like, can't find anybody. Goes, who wants you now? And then you exposed it to the world, being stupid. So who would really want you unless it's really somebody stupid who's not going to be looked at you and everybody's going to really not respect you, but you're going to be out there being, oh my God, look at him. But real man ain't going to look at you like, you stupid. No, we live in a real world out here, people. Okay? There's certain grown males that are out here that y'all look at and y'all be like, oh my God, he's a man and stuff. No, real men be like, nope, that's not a man. But all right, well, to agree to disagree, all right, well, I'm not going to argue with you, but fine. Okay. But I'm not going to sit there and there's certain things that men don't do. Like, I was just talking about this at the bar. Like, I'm not going to have my woman, if we at the bar, she's not sitting there twerking. Mm-hmm. She's not twerking. She's not twerking. What do you now? Mind you, it's different if we outside. You know what I'm saying? It's free drink or something. We at the beach. You know what I'm saying? It's a party. It's something different. But we just at the bar. You just at the bar. There's people just there, just eating, drinking, and you just sitting there, just twerking outside, and you look crazy. Who is gonna respect you? Who's gonna rightfully sit there and be like, I'm bringing that home? You gonna do that in front of my mom by accident? Or we just twerking? My song just came on. Oh my goodness! Christmas party. Everybody just in church, just doing Medea. Hallelujah! This is wild. Kay Michelle was talking about this today.
Because I think she's opening
it's crazy.
Said there's not going to be any twerking. But I've seen other black restaurant owners like, yo, you're not going to be twerking. It's not going to be ratchet. But how does this happen in our spaces? Let me tell you something. we are the ones that we are the ones that allow certain
We
types of
allow
energy
it.
in our homes, our churches, places of work, whatever it is. Like,
But
we know
it
that
also is the media too,
true,
because they hold on too much
right?
to it and not to. We don't see as much
Right. Let me
elegant and don't they really don't show it. It's more like, oh, well, praise the this is ratchet. I'm like, it's entertaining.
right. Let me say one thing. I remember there was a video of this young man graduating. You know what his mom did in the stands? She decided
Oh
to.
no.
I'm like, yo, your boy is graduating high school. Why are you twerking? And I'm just like, jeez, man, like have some respect for yourself. Because now everybody's gonna look at, oh, look at so and so's mama. She jiggling that over there. Like, come on now.
But you see, she in reality, she's not. When I became a teacher, I was told that most of the disrespect would come from my own. Yes, yes.
So we
She
It comes from y'all. It don't come from us. Like we just say the behaviors that be happening. Be like, hey, listen, this is wrong. Yeah, I'd be like, oh no, she okay to live her life. No, it's not okay to be sitting there twerking in the bar, stupid. Like, no, there's no other person. You don't see no white person doing it. You don't see no Asian person. No, nobody else doing this. No decent person is doing this. Why we doing that?
hold on,
and,
hold on,
and to line back off of what you just said, look,
go ahead.
understand
Unless
women
they're in the
are
culture.
natural born coddlers. They're nurturers. So they're not really keen to set discipline. If you notice in a lot of marriages, what a man would say or try to discipline his child, oh, don't do that to him. No, I don't want you to do that. So understand when a man is telling his daughter, yo, I don't need you wearing that outside, and you
Right.
don't need to be twerking. You got the mother who is now single and raising the child independently.
Mm.
Girl, do what you want to do, be how you want to be. Don't let nobody stop you from doing whatever the fuck you want to do, blah, blah,
I
blah, blah, blah.
hate that.
And so now they all in the world twerking and thinking it's cool and wondering why they don't get the respect in terms of, why you
Right.
don't want to wife me? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, girl, you're twerking everywhere and everybody
But
saw it.
everybody told you what is so important about what?
If that's
So you just twerk and show your titty,
if that's
and it's different. Like you
Everybody
have to
at the
be.
party. Mm-mm.
God,
Mm-mm.
that's the only skill that you possess, and I'm pretty sure you probably can speak articulate and can cook food and are educated. But if that's the only thing that you show, how do I know what is real about you at the end of the day? Like, I saw a video yesterday where a woman was talking about like, yo, this whole Meg the Stallion twerking challenge. You don't need to.
Oh, no, I'm sick
And
of that.
and then
I
check
didn't
this
see
out.
that
Right
yet.
now, the young lady wasn't dressed provocative, but even how she was dressed while she was talking about this stuff, I'm like, well, you're trying to get a message across to all these black women. I get it, but look at the way that you're presenting yourself. People might hear the messenger,
That's
but
what
they're
it
not going to get the message because the way that you're dressed might it might not positively reinforce the good that you're trying to do in that moment. Because if I'm speaking about something and I'm like, yo, I don't like this is not what it should be. But if I'm, you know liking all these videos and stuff like that and I'm a part of the problem, who am I to say like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that? I need to be one way. If I'm talking about something, I have to be about it, and I got to be like, yo, this is wrong, and I'm not going to engage in that or even share that type of content on my social media platform. But the problem is that we have so many people today, even when it comes to partners and spouses and things of this nature, dudes is like, yo, I can't tell her what to do. Like, I'm not gonna police her. You know, that's my woman. If she wants to do that, she can do that. And I've never understood that. I've had conversations like this on Facebook
That
alone, and
is failure.
I'm surprised.
It's,
I'm surprised when it comes to these responses. I'm like, yo, men, you really don't have a problem with your woman wearing a low cut dress. You like, yo, yeah, I trust her. Like, women be like, yo, nah, he's secure. No, it's not secure. The problem is that he's been with you for so long and knows that that was the way that you dressed in the beginning that he can't say nothing now. And the time when he needed to say it and express it to you, he couldn't because he was too weak. Now he's let it go on. It's like, yo,
tolerated it.
it is what it is. Now you can't be that man that God called you to be, the type of man that put your foot down and been like, yo, I don't want you doing that. You got to be able to have respect. Like, you got to be able to have respect for yourself. If you want other people to respect your woman, you got to have respect for yourself first, right? And then teach her how to have respect for herself. If she doesn't have that and she doesn't want to adhere to those rules or just certain ways of advice to help you in your relationship or just advice in general,
Cut it
maybe
off.
that's someone that you should not be with. You know, like I say,
Cut it off.
check this out, check this out. There was a basketball player, right? Now, he married this woman that was obviously in the adult industry, right? And later on, she left and she went to rap. Then he ended up losing bread. She decides to go on OF, and then you know, I think she was on some sports show. Like I think it is what it is. I think that's the name of it. And basically, dude saw the video and really got pissed off. But then again, that was the type of woman that you chose to marry. Whoever you marry is a reflection of your choices and what you want in that moment. If the marriage relationship is not under a covenant, it's not going to work in the biblical way. And this is why people get so many things twisted. You can't hold on, check this out. You can't go marry somebody, expect to bring them in the church, expect them to change everything around for you. It doesn't work that way. Either they're a believer or not. Either they're rocking the same way that you're rocking spiritually or they're not. If they're not, don't do it. Don't put yourself in that space where every week you're begging your spouse, like, yo, come to church with me, or let's do this, let's do that. And they're not listening to you because they already told you from jump, yo, I don't want to be a part of church. I don't want to be around this people. I got a certain way that I do things, you know? If you don't want to be in a relationship and you want to have your originality, then just keep that. But the problem is that when it comes to, and it doesn't even have to be marriage, it could be dating or whatever. Some women and men, they don't want to change. But if the person is trying to change you, why even stay with them in the first place? So on both sides, it's messed up because everybody's like, yo, like, I like them. I want to say something, but I'm comfortable. I don't want to lose them. And I feel like if I say something, it's going to be a problem. You have to put your foot down at some point. And just like Trini was saying, in the dating stage is when you work all of these things out. If you didn't do that, y'all just got married and was like, yo, it's just whatever, you won't get divorced in the next 2 to 3 years. But let me stop talking.
This is why I have so many experiences. Because just literally spoke my life in a matter of seconds.
What happened?
I was saying that you literally just like, you spoke it. Like you spoke like, you know what I'm saying? Like getting married and not really understanding or knowing that person for a while. Like as you get older, not even as you get older, just you got to be taught to just learn to you have to watch other people's family. You're getting married. Watch the people's parents if they're still alive. Watch what they say, how they talk to them, how they treat each other, who they are, how they talk about their parent. All that will tell you who you're about to marry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to sit down and ask certain questions about, hey, if I get sick, because remember, you got Jezebel spirits out here if you want to, keep it biblical and stuff, You have people that's going to lie to you, the lie of the spirits out here. So you can't pillow talk with everybody.
Right.
You're gonna cut your sources off.
Right. Look at Samson.
So
Samson,
you know what I'm saying?
And his parents told him, like, yo,
Samson, like,
you mess with that girl. He's like, nah, I'm gonna do
his parents said it. His parents said, hey, listen, hey, son. And my mama told me not to mess with told me not to mess with that girl. But guess what I did? I sat there and I lived the Samson life. I lived the Samson life. You know what I'm saying? I lived the Samson life. But guess what? But now, for real though, it's some of these stories are like just to warn you about real life, what's going to happen. Like there are Delilah spirits out there. There are Samson spirits out there. You know what I'm saying? Like when it gets real, and definitely when you don't know how to speak to each other, and when you're scared that the person might really take care of you or not.
Right.
they really gonna be there for you or not. Like we're in a society where if you ain't got the bird, you out, because that's a form of protection. A lot of women don't understand that their role inside the door and outside the door are two different things. Just like men is too. Once when we outside, oh, we pretty much we're like tamed wild dogs. We're like the hawk. You know when the hawk says, and like the part when he goes, everybody's like, yeah, he's like, yo, how do you get how do you control this? He said, I'm always mad. And he just walks. He just walks and becomes the hawk. That's when he becomes upgraded. That's when he's evolved. That's when he's not mad no more. He controlled. I mean, after he got beaten by Thanos, it was a different story. But
Yeah.
before that, he had it controlled. He had it controlled. You know what I'm saying? So it's like us as men, we need to know how to do the same thing. But you're in modern day now. It's not just when we're outside, we are crazy ass men. When we walk inside, we're like teddy bears. We like, but mind you, if something were to happen, guess what? Guess why it's called teddy bear, because the teddy part, cute thing, but the bear, let the bear just be out by itself. You out, you done. Jordan Peterson discussed the same topic. Yeah, it's my dude right there. He was saying like,
It is mad thorough. Like,
you got to understand the logic behind it to make sense.
right.
It makes sense. Us as men, you gotta. There are because you are the man that you are, and because you chose the woman that you chose. Because you see, there's also a difference, and it's scientifically no, kind of sad to say, but we are different. The more men that women know, it's harder for her to be in a relationship. Us as men, it depends only because, to be honest with you, as you get more, you be like, you know what? Like, okay, I know someone, I just don't want to name him or whatever, who is like 21, 22. Literally told me the other day and was like, yo, listen, I don't have so much, pum that like, I really just want to find the one right now. Like, or I'm just chilling. And I said, listen, instead of finding the one, I want you to just, get your money up, because right now you ain't got nothing. You just coming out of school, high school, college, you just like there are things you're just doing like this is all brand new. Unless you just got money right now, you just inherited money, or you in the crypto game or something, or you in the gaming game and you got bread right now. It's different. So I'm like, you really got to come up. So unless you are providing for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot that's not going on. So it's harder. It's harder for us as men. Like for me, I don't know. In my marriage, I thought that medically, yeah, but then I realized that because it was just off divorce, and I was saying, we could have talked about it and everything. And I was like, no, I don't want to. So why would my health be a factor? Why would I'm gonna kid you not. There was a point where I was trying to eat. I was trying to just become a vegan. Everything she made at one point was just had meat in it. Just, I was just eating off the scraps of whatever the meat didn't have in it. Like I was like, what is going on? Like this is crazy. Like it was, and the sad reality is that there are a lot of men who they'll bite the bullet because their kids feel it, or they don't want their kids to see it. But you got to remember, our kids are the rawest of the energies of ever, and then they are copycats.
Right.
All they are doing is mimicking you. That's all they're doing. And then what they do is at a certain age, they're spitting back everything you've ever done. Manipulative or not, they just sitting there and be like, wow, this little shit is doing shit that, and you're not really thinking like, oh, this is me. This is little me. This is the shit that I really be doing, but I don't really want to confront it because it's my child. And I really want to say that I hate my child, but I really
Mm.
to myself that I hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when because people are not together, oh, because you're not together, oh shit, that's that. If you hate that child, if you hate that person, why do you hate that child? Oh, that's that person's child. I hate that child. That's Richard McCoy's kid. That's not my kid. On both sides. No matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? So like it goes both ways. What it should be and what some people's realities are two different things. And 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 in reality it's like Trini, you live kind of like both lives. You live like the from what I see. I can't speak for everybody. It's just my opinion. Female.
I lived the
Yeah.
jail life.
Oh
I've
yeah.
lived the street life. I've lived
You right.
the Pathfinder
But you see,
SDO
like,
life. I've lived, jeez.
but outside of that, like outside of us as men knowing, outside of me knowing you in that light, just knowing how long you've been married, just knowing that you have your kids, just knowing the things that you're doing and you're actually doing it and seeing it. It's not something that you talk about and you're out on the street. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you talk about when the last episode you was literally pepper sprayed and you know what I'm saying? Like you just came from going through something, you know what I'm saying? That you were you were a man of your word and said, "I listen, I'm gonna hop on and make sure I'm on." You know what I'm saying? So like I honor and salute you for that. So it's like that's things that's being shown. So it being shown, your wife then does what she does, right? Because then it's a reverse because she is who she is. It's not like she's, because remember, we talk about it all the time. There's some people that you know right now that you're not going to tolerate. As soon as you open them up, people are like, oh, no, no, no. As soon as you see her walking, oh, no, 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 you trouble. You trouble. You know you trouble. Now, a male, and I'm using these terms on purpose, a male is gonna sit there, fuck boy or grown ass male. They're gonna sit there and be like, I'm gonna try to say and do some stuff to her. What does it always end up in? Divorce or your money being taken away because you don't understand the nature. You're not there, and it's not about pills anymore. That you go past all of those. You really go past all of those. What ends up happening is you just realize that it is in people's nature, yes, because you can do it too. Like there are things that I've learned that I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, how did you creatively do think of that? But then I'm like, I would do that though. But they thought of it, and when I thought, I was like, wow, like that is crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just a small little speck on this dirt of earth that's only been here for an amount of time. I don't know what's been going on, what's been going on. Like, I can't imagine the things that people like think about and go through. But in every case, we got like men and women. When it goes back to respect.
We
Oh
got
shit, my bad, Joe.
left.
Go ahead.
All right, so now let's go to question 8. Would you leave your spouse following a diagnosis? And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Um, there was a very famous fashion model who ended up passing away a few years back, and she ended up having early Alzheimer's. Now, the man that she married, they had been together for probably about maybe, I want to say 20 something years, right? Could have been 25 or 20. In the midst of her having Alzheimer's, he decides after a certain point, after he realizes that she's gone, he gets himself a girlfriend. And the girlfriend ends up becoming the caretaker. He and his wife are the caretakers of, sorry, he and his girlfriend are the caretakers of his wife. And I'm just trying to figure out, the woman wasn't dead. She may not be able to reciprocate love in the same way that she used to, but how dare you go and cheat on her? You like your vows at this point don't mean nothing. So now I'm gonna ask the question again. Would you leave your spouse following a diagnosis?
Hold on, before let me just answer what you just said because I heard stories of women who allowed their husbands after being diagnosed with a disease because they couldn't, do what their husband wanted them to do. They gave them pretty much like a hall pass. And
Mm.
whether the husband obliged or not, I'm saying, like it was up to him. But I'm saying, like, and it wasn't considered cheating to the woman. Now, to go as far as, being a caretaker, you know,
Yo, somebody eating?
remember there are poly relationships as well. So does that consider cheating?
Yo, hold on, hold on. What is that snaps in the background? It sounds like somebody eating. What is it?
No, I wasn't eating. That was sorry.
Yo, this.
Can't help it, man.
It's all right. I thought something was wrong with the audio for a minute. Yo,
Nah.
okay, go
I
ahead,
wasn't
man.
like that.
Go ahead. It's all good, bro. Go ahead.
What you talking
Nah,
about?
so my son, he's watching this Gracie's Corner, and there's a certain
Ooh,
song that
yeah.
he be listening to, and I just be playing to it. That's all. But wow, that question right there. For me, for one, that dude is well, whoever did whatever they did, they bugged out for that. That's completely wrong. Two, one thing that can actually reverse Alzheimer's is apple juice, believe it or not, but it's gotta be pure. I'll tell y'all about that later. Three, bro, I'm gonna bang out to the end. Again, for better or for worse. This is a covenant that you're talking about. So for you to step out and I can't imagine because what how Alzheimer's even works. It'll come and then it go, and then it gets dramatically bad, and there's still spots where you can remember certain things. So I can't fathom or imagine being in a wheelchair. I'm losing my mind and I'm fading, and I'm watching my life crumble before my eyes, and I'm playing stupid at this point. Even though I still got Alzheimer's, but I'm playing stupid when I do come to, and I'm seeing this happen. It's the most. That's that's the lowest of the low. And at that point, you don't even want to be alive anymore. You just want it to be like, you know what? I don't even want to remember this. So for me, I'm gonna bang out to the end because that really shows how much you love that person when you're willing to go through it. And there's gonna be times where said person's gonna fight you, and I don't know you, and then you're gonna have to feed them, and they don't know how to wipe themselves. It gets really bad. But for Christ to stay faithful to us, because I can't imagine being when you think about the Roman Catholic execution, they really did some gruesome stuff. So when you look at a crucifixion and what it takes to get there, dog, I'm not dying for nobody.
But he
Mm.
loyal.
I'm not. I'm not getting
Who you
stabbed in my
telling?
side for nobody. I'm not getting spit
Nope.
at for nobody. I'm not asking my father to forgive a single bumbar ass crap. No, it ain't happening. He spit on me. He spit on me. He definitely just threw that rock at me.
Mm.
Hit all of them one time. So for Christ to die for so-called friends and lay down his life for his friends, I can't. No, ain't no way. I'm gonna love you to the end. This is a covenant. Again, I'm loving you to the end. Because for one, even if we can't have sex or whatever the case may be, it shows how much self-control you can actually develop within yourself. For
Mm.
one,
Right.
because if you take away sex from a lot of relationships, bro, it's dry. They don't know how to conversate with one
It's
another.
trash.
They don't know how to go to any kind of event and just have fun. They don't know how to not twerk and just play ice hockey at an arcade. They don't know how to do anything. So with that said, bro, I'm gonna love you to the end because I know when it's all said and done, I did my part, and I know years, in the future, I I'm certain God's gonna have somebody even better because of how you treated that person. If you love, bro, love is an action. It's not just a word of emotion.
Mm.
You got to demonstrate that. You got to live that. Ain't no way.
But you see, A lot of people haven't seen it, so they don't know. When you show it, they don't know what it looks like.
Well, then you're
That's
giving a
just
piece of
like
them. So
one
if you
time I
were to
went to
go,
the.
all right, my bad, I ain't moving.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
if you ask said spouse, how would you like it if you were losing your mind or you were cancer, whatever the case may be, and I decide, I ain't in it no more. I'm just gonna dip because I don't want to deal with this. You'll be heartbroken because now you're dying by yourself.
Mm,
So you have to put another person in that shoe. Like, how would you feel for real? Now let's really talk about it. How would you feel? You're dying. You just got the diagnosis, and all of a sudden, if you're that quick to move on, you was either already cheating on me or you was rather, planning your exit strategy. There is no in between because that's not real. It's not. If you can leave directly after that, okay, that's cool. Copy. But nah, I'm gonna love you to the end. To the end. To the end. And when it's all said and done and I did my part, go for it.
mm.
That's just me.
See, I respect that. Now for the final question.
Depends on the girl. By the way, I'm not saying all these people deserve staying. So by
Right.
all means, you have to know your partner.
Exactly.
But for me, because I know what I have, this woman that did some stuff for me that, bro, I clearly didn't deserve. So yeah, to the end. Go ahead.
Now here's the last question. After everything that we've covered tonight, what advice would you give to people that are thinking about marriage?
Mm. Where bro go? He probably had a phone call. But
Yeah.
honestly, get to know God first. Why? Because you you then have to kill your flesh. You'll then see all the flaws that you have. Fix yourself first. That way you're able to have the discernment on loving somebody else. Also, pray for wisdom and discernment so you're able to know if your spouse is finna play in your face behind your back or not.
Right.
Learn your partner, learn their weaknesses. If you develop a code, see how they treat you, see if they make any kind of soup,
Yo,
any tea, anything like that. See how they move when you're just sick. Just, oh my God, I can't breathe. I got a headache. See how they treat you.
Right.
Watch their movements. Get to know their family and their habits because it's
yeah,
really important to know. Okay, I need to know the bloodline and your lineage. What the hell do y'all do? What do you have to offer? And I'm not talking about what you bring to the table. Christ is my table. I
Right.
just bring things that add. But other than that,
Amen.
learn your partner. Please learn your partner because a lot of these girls, they'll get married on purpose, and after about 6 years, they're snatching everything, and they get all kinds of benefits for them. Like, understand something. It's very one sided. When it comes to men, we don't have this group of men that band together and, oh, bro, we got your back. We get, should have saw it coming. You'll be all right.
yep.
Nigga, grow up. Man up.
You be good.
A woman can have
Man up, son.
one disagreement, and go public with it. I don't care if it's the Wangs. I don't care from what country, nation they come from. There'll be thousands of them on your front lawn with picket signs, with all kinds of support care systems. They got clinics they can go to, advisors. They have people. They have someone to have their backs. We out here by ourselves.
See, when I
So
say it, I
men,
sound crazy.
Men, love yourself first. Develop wisdom and understanding. Fix yourself. Make sure yourself is right. And then look at your shorty, study her, observe her. And if you think you can trust her, yeah, get married. I would specifically get married within the church because there's a lot of stipulations with that public document. It's weird. This is just for me. But don't shy away from getting married because remember, the enemy's biggest thing he cannot stand is family. So that's why you're seeing everything going on around the place. The devil does not like the aspect of family. He
Mm,
doesn't like reproduction, which is why you see. Well, I'm not even gonna get into that, but he doesn't like family.
Yep.
Stay together. A family that prays together legitimately stays together. Because there were some times where I was ready to walk out for real, and I wouldn't say go back to my street ways, but that old person definitely jumped down in a few fights. Like, yo, for real, if I really wanted to walk out right now, bro, I'll walk out. And the Lord had to humble me and sit me down, like, bro, you got two kids, you serious? Both
mm.
pregnancies, she lost 3 liters of blood, bro.
Wow.
I've never seen blood so red. So I understand the postpartum and the cramps and all that jazz.
Yep.
Like, a woman's body changes 4 times a month. Mind, body, it's a lot. So please just
Should I cry?
don't waste each other's time. Do not waste each other's time. If you really want to be with Shorty, be with her and don't stop doing what you did to get her. Once you
Exactly.
have her, keep going on dates. Keep going to the movies. Keep going out for ice cream. Keep doing that shit. All women really want to do is feel secure and just be that prize that you so hold dear. They want to be that. Like the championship in the NBA or the NFL. They want to be that, but in your arms. Once they're secure, you're good. The moment they see a glitch in the system or what they call the pattern shift, they gonna move different. That's just how they are. So listen, just don't waste each other's time. Know your partner, and don't complain if you saw or found your girl in a bar or in a venue at a party like at Missouri or something like that. If she's already shaking that ass out there, bro, she gonna shake that ass forever.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
know what you're dealing with, and you should be all right. I yield the floor. Get
Agreed.
married, damn it. Get married. Shoot.
Agreed.
Yeah. Get married. Yeah. What was the last question? Because I had it had knocked me out, and then I came back in.
Yeah. What
What
advice
advice
do you give to
do you give
people?
to people thinking about getting married?
Yeah.
Um, Me getting divorced and hearing from other people. Just like what Trini said, everything that Trini said, a lot, actually, 100% of what Trini said, I agree with. The extra, or big gangster daddy here. Um, the extra would be being as real as you can, knowing who you are, and being as real as you can, as fast as you can. Most people, when you meet them, you meet the representative. You meet their whole lot. It take you months before you find out she got a whole wig, unless because it's really good. She paid that good. You be like, oh, dang, damn, so your hair really come out like that? And then next be coming out in a wig, and she be like, oh, girl, find out it's a whole wig. Or you know what I'm saying? Like now it's different because you see the,
Go
the,
ahead, eat.
the structure. But before there was like you knew like that, kind of you know who people are. But just like men are coming different now too. They're doing different things. I understand. But I think the main thing is when you really know yourself, when you know what you want, you're gonna attract what you want. Now, what you don't want will come as well, but that doesn't mean that you have to. Because mind you, it's just like a Jezebel spirit. It's just come in cloak because you said what you said. Like one thing that I've learned: be careful what you say out loud or what you want,
Mm. Mm.
because people that mimic that.
Hey.
Oh yeah, so I want somebody who's nice, he's sweet, he listens, he talks. So this he doing all of that. You do all that time. It's different if you know what a person already do and how they move, because then it'd be like, nah, you already know how I move. You moving kind of different now. It's what you're in your mind, what you thinking I'm gonna go do, but it's it's your time. So you gotta understand, you gotta know you have to put up front who you are and know what you're going to tolerate and not from jump, and leave it at that from the beginning, and be consistent. Whatever you start with, you got to keep on going. So bro, you start with $700 dates. What you think you're going to do the next time? think it's not going to be $700 or more? You can't go to Waffle House and just stop, or Chick-fil-A and just stop one day because you're hungry.
Mm.
She going like it's a whole nother world. How you start and how you build is different. Now, if you got it from there, we realize that those are men who are just trying to buy you.
Exactly.
Because women, you don't need no bread. I don't need no bread. There's times I haven't in college. Do we need bread like that? No. They were just doing things. People were just doing things. But they were out there. I was, I ain't gonna lie. I was the governor. I was an RA. I was the president of Black Student Union. I do look like my daddy a little bit. But I'm just saying. I would say just as males becoming men, know yourself. As females becoming women, understand and know yourself.
Right.
So you got to know that you move different when your mood changes. You see, us, we know that. So when a man knows that, he know, oh, you move just like what Trini said. I know her body move 4 type of ways in a month. So I know how she moves. So guess what? I'm gonna move in a certain type of way where I'm not gonna annoy her, so that what I'm saying, the atomic bomb don't spread when she can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can talk when she can. So why would I aggravate her when she can't? And I know this about her.
Mm.
Because the opposite is, if I was in my feelings, that nobody can't stop you. You outside. The only person that's gonna stop you is her or your kids.
Right.
You outside of the whole fight. You outside. Listen, your wife saying, "Trinity, stop! You might just stop."
Yep.
But if your kid say stop, or your daddy, Stips, all right. In your head, while you choking the person out, all right. You know what I'm saying? Let me not choke this. So as women, you got to understand, like, I don't know how, you know what to provoke that dude. You know what to say. Just like earlier, oh yeah, his mama died. Your daddy don't love you. What? Oh yeah, you cheated on me 10 years ago. Remember that chick what are you talking about? That was 10 years ago. Remember that chick you talked to? Man, when you helped her in the elevator, you said hi, and oh yeah, I thought y'all was cheating. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, I dreamed about you cheating. Oh my God. Ugh.
Do not bring that mess up to me.
You
Wow.
see, when you know this, you become like a little asshole like me, and then you say it, so women be like, "Oh my God, you kind of really know us," and so then they know I understand you. Like I get you. I don't know why you do what you do because I'm not a woman, but I get it. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying, like, but you gotta know that as women get older, you hear women be like, "Yo," like I ask women all the time, like, "Hey, women are manipulative." A real woman would be like, "Yeah, we are. Yep, yep, we are." Mhm. One who's not, who's oh, you don't even know me. You don't know me. How you saying I'm manipulative? Wait a minute. I just asked them, women. But you don't know me. You don't know women. And are you speaking for all women? Really? So no woman has ever made a shoe that you walked in. You just walk in multiple shoes, boo. You just don't want to admit it. You just think you're in clear shoes like Cinderella. Think it's a dream, bitch.
Mm.
Ain't no dream. We live in real life. So you gotta understand, like you gotta just be real with yourself. But as you get older, you do both, just like men. We do both. That's why it's a distinction between men, males, women, and female. Like it's real big. Every man, every male is not a man, and every female is not a woman.
Exactly.
Oh, we.
Yeah. Some people
I
think
think
that
it's
because it can produce kids that makes them a man or a woman. It doesn't. It just means
no.
Right.
your organ.
It don't. Like other people have to tell you, hey, that's a great man. Or hey, you're a great man. But if I go around saying I'm a man, I
Mm.
ain't doing nothing. I'm on the street being a bum, and there's a distinction of what men are. I'm just fooling myself. I'm just fooling everybody around me.
Exactly.
Also, one more thing: always make sure you understand why you're getting married, because the cameras, the lights, and the
Oh
suits,
yeah,
and
yeah. Understand
it
why you
seems
you you are getting
it
married.
seems it seems very dreamy. until you
Kind of pass on
realize
that.
until you realize once y'all moving together, she leaves onions on the counter, for instance, and that somehow pisses
Watch
you
Love
off.
and Marriage. Watch Love and Marriage. Watch Martin.
Watch.
Watch all those shows back in the day that was like, if you really look at it, they was like teaching you like, dang, this is what really life is. And would I really tolerate living that? Would I really tolerate that person doing that? You're right,
You will
Chris.
have to sacrifice a lot of yourself
Yes,
because you can't.
you'll sleep.
Yo, there are some times where okay, so me being a former gang member, right? Sometimes when the corporate manager or whoever decides to talk to you to what you deem crazy, there's this is button in your brain
A
and it's just
switch.
pressing and you get I wouldn't say you get the twitching, but it's like, yo, in my mind, I just smacked you about 5 times. But I'm not gonna do that though. You have to kill that flesh. A lot of your flesh is going to be killed. You can't be the same. You can't be the same. You can't just be hard every day. You have to change for yourself for the better of the relationship. It's not about you, which is why you have to kill so much of
Yeah,
yourself. It's so
yeah.
much sacrifice. It's sacrifice of self.
It's a it's about you, but it's not about you because you want. Like you are, the other person is you. So in order for you to be satiated, the other person has to be as well. So if that's why, like the other day, I was having an argument about win-win versus compromise. I don't like to compromise shit. Sorry, because somebody's losing something,
Right.
and if I'm not gaining it and you're not losing it, then hey. But I like win-win situations where we're both winning something. And so a compromise would be like, hey, let's say for instance, um, you know, y'all want to go to the movies and he want to go see X, y'all want to go see Y. And so you say, hey, listen, we're going to go see X. So you go see X, but then you never see Y. So now the person never
Mm,
goes see their movie, they never get a chance or whatever, and maybe they wanted to share it and see it with you. Now let's say that now the win-win is you both go to the movies and you say, hey, let you do two things. This is the win. This is a win. There's two different reasons. There's the win-win where you both get it, and then there's the win because y'all won. So the win-win
right.
would be y'all both go to the movies and y'all both see each other's movie. Hey, I go see your movie, you go see mine. So now you're experiencing what the other person likes. The win, the big win, would be y'all both pick a movie that y'all ain't even and y'all see. Y'all just it's just new. Y'all just feeling, hey, let's feel the vibe and hey, let's just pick this movie and let's just kind of experience it together. That's a win because y'all both won. Y'all just choosing together to go do that. So I don't like to compromise nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because compromising, you losing something. And what ends up happening if the other person's always losing? Now, if they dumb, they're gonna be like, all right, some people want to take advantage, you
Yeah.
know. But if somebody's smart, after a while, they're gonna be like, listen, I'm not gaining nothing out of it. What am I getting? I need to get something. Something needs to come out of here. And if nothing does, then somebody's losing. That don't work. In reality, it doesn't work. You don't go in the store and you don't just say, "Hey, let me buy these. Let me walk out and get these chips." You will go to jail.
For sure.
You know, I watch people get arrested at Walmart on YouTube at night to go to sleep. Okay, this is funny to me because it'd be hilarious. Like you don't know all these cameras be in the store. You don't know.
They're
You don't
everywhere.
know this is what you do.
They're everywhere.
You know, like this is no, but this is reality. So I just be like, let me just kind of see what the world is actually doing, and okay, this is real life. You know, and then I kind of come back to reality. So it's the same thing. You gotta know who you're dealing with. You have to know yourself and what you like, what you don't like. You can't compromise what you like. You can't compromise you. You say something, mean it. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Because women are gonna hold you to it, man. They're gonna hold you to it.
Anything you say will be and can be used against you.
Used against you in the court of law. anything what we said used against you. Hey, remember when you said that she was gonna take me out that day and she not nagging you, all she doing is pressing you because you said you was gonna do that. That's what you said you was gonna do.
Mm.
So it's reality, bro. I get it.
And by the way, the ultimate win is to, let's say, movies, right? Go see her movie at whatever time, then you go see your movie at
What
whatever
movie?
time, and just any movie. I was glad back enough for what you said about the win.
Yeah, like
For me,
or
I'm
like
like, all right,
y'all at
so
home and y'all watching movies.
I
Go
go see
ahead.
her movie, and then after that movie's done, I go see my movie, and then after that, we go movie hop and see every other movie. So
Yeah.
I'm old school like that.
Yeah. Or like let's say y'all Netflixing and chilling, you know what I'm saying? The kids is gone or whatever. So y'all sit there and y'all one night what you do is you go and you watch your movie and you'll go and you'll watch her movie, or a win would be like, you know what? Let's kind of, and you literally just watch some random movie that you never seen before and be like, oh, like I like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there shows that y'all are now tapped into being one. Y'all are winning for each other. It's not about me being selfish because think about it. If the person really don't want to watch the movie, they're not gonna watch it.
Period.
They really not. They're really gonna walk out and be like, "Hey, I don't want to watch this." So they're doing it for you in some way, shape, or form. And in some way, shape, or form, you do it back. Like you'd be like, "Oh, look, let's watch this." Be like, all right, I watch it. And you'll watch certain movies. Like I give you an example. Like for instance, I don't watch horror movies at night anymore. Okay. Now, 41, you would ask why. You would think that I'm whack or whatever. But here's the thing. You see, what happens is when I close these eyes and these dreams that out of control be happening, and then this random thing be trying to chase me in the dream, I don't be wanting. You see, I just didn't realizing like why even bring that in? Why bring that? I'd rather just laugh at night. So I laugh at people getting, you know, stealing stuff from Walmart. I laugh at like idiots at work. I just be because I just need to laugh at the world because they be so hard out here. You know what I'm saying? Like just trying to be authentically yourself because a lot of people are posing and trying to be something else and be somebody else, and then you end up in the relationship months later realizing, oh wait, this ain't even the person who I even met. Yeah, you didn't. You don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know them. You just like you said, you got to investigate. You got to go and that don't mean what I'm saying like stalk, but that's what we used to do as men. That's how you even understand a woman, like if she's good or not. You ask questions like, "Yo, bro, anybody know about her?" Because when the answer was no, all right, we good. But let one person say yeah, even though you're scared to ask. Let one person say they know you. All right, let me let her go. If you that dude and you like her, if not, then you'd be like, all right, what I'm saying, let me just try. But if not, and you like her, and you want to be with somebody who is pure and somebody who's not, you don't want to be like, all right, let me just try that. You know what I'm saying? Like this, you have to know who you are as a person. But as like if you're not a male who was taught by men, not just like men, and learn about self control and stuff, you're not gonna understand how to pick a right woman when you haven't even tried or understood women and not just listening, but literally experiencing them. Because it's a difference if when you watch a woman hit somebody and say, "Hey, listen, she ain't never gonna do that," and somebody hits you, I mean, what would you do in that moment? Because you really got to think split second. If I hit this bitch, I might go to jail. I might end up in. I want to be locked next to Mo, and then I don't want to do all that. Bail money, bail money, bail money. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do
We
all
need
that.
to bring this
So,
home because he about to go somewhere with it. Bring it home. Bring, bring it home, bro. Where IMC go?
so what I'm saying in reality is this, people. Okay, you have to be authentically yourself because you do not be logical here, people. Just listen. Trini is the logical. Like Trini says, majority of the things that I want to say. That's why I say that you let say it first. I just say the stories, and then I just make them real funny. But like, yes, you gotta know who you. If you don't know who you are, bro, I'm telling you, you don't. You are you. It's not gonna work for you. It's you will get manipulated out here. For the girls, you will get manipulated. Why? Because you think that the grass is green on the other side. You know, you just think like if you understand the hustle of the game, you're gonna be real with yourself. You're gonna be real with men. Men are gonna be real with you. They're gonna be like, I mess with you. I rock with you. They gonna rock with you long period. They don't even like you because they're gonna realize, you know what, yo, this is the real one. But when you try to keep playing yourself, you're gonna be like, all right, keep on playing yourself, and you're gonna play yourself out of here. I started making play games so many times. So we just play so many games. But this is a physical warning of you just hey, keep on playing because it's gonna be you break it, but you the one that brought it. So weird. You gotta know you. You have to know you. You gotta know the tactics of your. You gotta know that you're solid in yourself. But if you are a man who hasn't been taught by other men or whatever, you know, what I'm saying, just holler at me, whatever. But if you haven't been taught by other men as well, you have to. There are certain things you got to go through by yourself. Like it's just life. There are many movies that have taught you. Rambo have taught me. Boy, Rambo, when he was in the woods, he was by himself. uh, You know Oz. You ever seen the show Oz? Boy, Oz taught me. I don't never want. I mean, besides the fact that I was on Scared Straight once, but this is before they had the TV show and it was out on TV and stuff. But I don't ever want to like Oz taught me. I don't ever want to be in jail. Like these are things that will keep you motivated. So it's like there are. If you really go and you watch, think about it. Think about how men can make movies about what we go through, but at the end we always kind of prevail. Like it's a whole dark comedy. Like think about the 40-year-old virgin. You know, after being 41, like I would really, oh my god, like imagine, oh my god, like, oh my god, imagine being a. No, I couldn't. I just couldn't. So no. So yeah, since the game is back, you know, we're in the thing since you know. But again, be authentic, be yourself, because you don't end up being the 40-year-old virgin.
Bro, let's go. We gotta
You
wrap
don't.
this up.
That's reality. That's reality. You don't want to end up being the 40-year-old virgin.
We gotta wrap this up. We have to wrap this up,
I'm wrapping
bro.
it up right now. That's what it is. My advice to you is go watch the 40-year-old virgin and don't end up like that. Because that's what would happen. I'm telling you, it would be sad. And there's men, I mean, there's men like, you know, like me and stuff to help you, but, you know, in reality, you know, it's not, it's scamming you right now for little pennies to nothing. So, you know, just like, that's my piece. That's my take. Just don't end up like him.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. Once
So
again,
sad.
guys, I want to thank you guys for joining us for this special episode for Better for Worse. This is episode 13 of the Meeting of the Minds podcast. I really want to shout out some of the people that was here tonight watching. Let me shout out Felicia, Janice, Karan, Jason, Dia, Kareen. Really appreciate y'all for watching and thank you for your input.
Yeah, that was lit tonight. Thank you.
And also, please make sure
Yeah.
to share. Let me tell you something. Every time that we do this podcast, we are broadcasted on 3 different platforms: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So for those of you that didn't get a chance to see it, you can watch the replay. All right. Once again, thank you guys. Really appreciate y'all for coming in and hanging out with us.
Thank
And
you, guys.
this is the Meeting of the Minds podcast. Next month we'll be back. So make sure that you come with some questions. You know what I mean? And if you want to be a featured panelist,
Oh
you know how to
man.
reach me. All right. One love, y'all, from the Meaning of the Minds podcast. We out. Peace.
That's why you need women sometimes.